We near kickoff. Auburn has won the toss, and they will receive. So we'll see the wishbone formation of Pat Dye first in action, and the question is, can Auburn bounce back after its disheartening loss to Miami to open the season? There he is, Pat Dye, in his 11th year, won 79, lost only 33, and tied 1. Winningest coach that they've had percentage-wise for a while at Auburn University. Kicking off for Texas will be Jeff Ward. There's Fred Akers, his 10th year. He's set the all-time percentage winning mark in the Southwest Conference, winning almost 80% of his games, has won over 80% of his conference games. Here's Jeff Ward, a sophomore from Austin, before the home crowd. He'll kick off. He's the kicking specialist. And by the way, Texas has one of the great kicking games in college football. And number 22, Brent Fullwood, a sophomore, will run back the kickoff. That means he's in there where we usually see Bo Jackson.
Well, and this is also a young man, Jim, that they feel that may be better than Bo Jackson.
Well, he's certainly exciting and explosive from St. Cloud, Florida. 196, and he can fly, and we're underway. Low bounding kick, and it'll get back to Fullwood at the 2. Tries it up the middle, the 20 to the 23-yard line, and he's stopped right there by Texas. And now for Auburn. They'll come in with Pat Washington, number 10 at quarterback, a junior. They expect him to go the air for the possession passes here tonight. He'll run the wishbone. Fullback is Tommy Agee, a key man. Bo Jackson will start at right halfback. Kyle Collins is the left half, a junior. And the wide receiver is Trey Gaines. Tight end Jeff Parks. And here we go with the first play of the game. From Austin, Texas, Auburn 1st and 10. Back in his own 23 end. This is Bo Jackson. Tries the left side. Stopped by Ralph Darnell. Darnell's the right tackle, along with Tony DeGreat. Bronner and James McKinney. Middle linebackers Tony Edwards, who's in for an assist on that play, number 63, who's 260 pounds. The outside linebackers are Ty Allard and June James, and they're fine ones. And joining Jerry Gray in the backfield, Tony Griffin, Stephen Braggs, and James Lott. So that's the defensive assignment as Bo Jackson has carried the ball for the first time. It's 2nd down and 6. They pick the fullback. The option, they take the quarterback down. A great play by James McKinney, the left hand of Texas. Call they made, stop that option pitch with this type of play.
All right, but let's take a look, first of all, at Bo Jackson. Now, watch this. You think they're after Gray. We said they're going to try to put Gray on the ground. That they did. But as you said, James McKinney, number 87, just went right after the quarterback, Washington, and there's a loss on the play.
And it's 3rd down 11, and Brady Wagan, a great young freshman receiver, is in. Here's Washington, the play action. Drills it in, and it's caught over there by Jeff Parks, the tight end. Stephen Braggs is right there. It's way short of a 1st down, and Auburn will have to put the ball away.
You're seeing one example right now of an inexperienced passing team. Now, Parks went down, number 82. He's the tight end. He goes down for the pass, but he doesn't get enough for the 1st down, Jim.
Back into safety, Kelvin Epps, wide receiver, senior from Dallas, number 5, Lewis Colbert. Quite a heartwarming story, born with a club foot, but an outstanding punter for Auburn. He'll kick him about his own 20. Here's the kick against the wind. Fair catch called, but the up back, and it is taken there by Felt. And Texas will have great field position here early in the 1st quarter from Austin, Texas. No score. Auburn versus Texas. After only a 25-yard punt, great field position for Texas. The fullback, Jerome Johnson, carries on 1st down, picks up a couple of 3 very tough yards in the middle of the Auburn defense, pushes it up closer to midfield at the 48-yard line. That'll be 2nd down and 7. So Todd Dodge, a pure passing quarterback, a junior from Port Arthur, is in for Texas. A halfback is Ronnie Robinson, who's normally a fullback, and Jerome Johnson starting at fullback. Kevin Elps is now coming to replace Bill Boy Bryant at flanker, and Brett Duhan is the wide receiver. Just one receiver out to the left side, 2nd and 7. Now they go to an unbalanced to the right side. And a deep hand off the tailback. Robinson trying to circle the right in over the 50 and down to about the Auburn 48. David King, the great cornerback for Auburn, number 27, makes the defensive play. But it brings up 3rd and short, Paul.
Well, you mentioned one thing, the unbalanced line. What Texas is doing, they're bringing their left tackle, Greg White, right over number 71, come across to the other side, and then they have 2 tight ends. We'll get to it in a second. We'll show it to them.
Here's the defense for Auburn. The ends are John Daly and Gerald Robinson. Tackles are Ben Thomas, an outstanding one, and Joe Williams. Harold Holloman is the nose guard. The linebackers Ben McCurdy and Greg Carr. King, Powell, Caesar, and Briggs are in the backfield. Those are some changes we'll get to later. Third down possession play for Texas. He needs about 2.5. Dodge first time, drills it, complete to the tight end Harris for first down at the 42 of Auburn. Well, Dodge on a rollout connects on his first throw to the tight end.
All right, here is the unbalanced line. You're going to see Harris come out. He is one of the tight ends. There goes another tight end behind him. Now watch this. When Harris comes out, that means that the linebackers have to cover. McCurdy, number 52, is supposed to be there, and also Gerald Robinson, the defensive end. It puts a lot of pressure on the defensive end and linebacker.
Texas trying to mount the first threat of the game. No score in the first quarter here from Texas. Here's a handoff for fullback. Ronnie Robinson's running out of tailback tonight, and he slams to about the 40. Met there by Harold Holman, the 235-pound nose guard. Freddie Akers' team getting going here. He'll shuffle his wide receivers. He's got Brett Duhon, Everett Gay, Kevin Elps, and Bill Boy Bryant. And that's Danny Akers, the backup quarterback, just over his shoulder. His son, a walk-on here, and they offered him a scholarship, and he said, no, I think my dad can afford it. I'll just remain a walk-on. 2nd and 8 from the 40-yard line. Straight drop this time off on the flat. They hit Robinson, turns the corner inside the 40 and close to the 35. Whistle down by Nat Caesar and Ben McCurdy in the backfield of Auburn, and Texas is moving the football here in the first quarter. A short punt against the wind by Auburn gave Texas excellent field position, and they're moving.
All right, this is a screen pass. When you're going to see Robinson, 49, go to the outside along with Johnson. Here's a flip to the outside. Now the defensive end gets caught on the inside, and when he breaks it back, there's McCurdy, number 52, the linebacker, pursuing very well.
3rd and 3. Last time they went to the tight end William Harris. Bill Boy Bryant flanked out wide to the right side. They run the draw play, and it won't work. Robinson thrown back behind the line of scrimmage by Gerald Robinson, a junior defensive end, and Harold Holman, who make the big defensive play for Auburn. And they stop Texas to set up a punt here at the 37.
Well, both coaches talked to us about this game, and they said it's going to be all in the trenches, in the line.
They're going to try a field goal, Paul, of 55 yards. So with the wind at his back, Jeff Ward, who has range between 50 and 55, will try to put Texas on the scoreboard. Now he's going to shorten it down to 54 yards. 54-yard try by Jeff Ward. Wind at his back. It's long enough. Is it straight? No, it is wide. Boy, did he put some leg to that, but it all goes for naught, and we remain scoreless. Auburn nothing, Texas nothing, first period. A little lost. Texas has dominated this series with Auburn. They won 4 out of the 5, including the game that opened the season last year, 1983 at Auburn.
One of the problems when you have a good field goal kicker like Jeff Ward with a strong leg, if you miss a field goal from that distance, look where Auburn gets the ball at the 37-yard line.
And Pat Dye's coming with 2 wide receivers. Here's Washington going for the home run to gain it. And down is Buford, and it's over his fingertips. Jerry Gray and Tony Griffin were back there, but it looked like Buford had a step on him around the 20-yard line of Texas.
Talked about this young man at the opening, Tony DeGreat, number 99. Now watch the pressure that he puts on. That's why Washington has to throw the ball. That's Jeff Lott, number 66. But DeGreat is there, and Washington knows he's there. He can see him out of the right side of his face.
And complete pass. Pat Dye figuring he's going to have to put the ball in the air here against this Texas defense. Wastes no time. Now the handoff to Bo Jackson. A straight dive, nothing doing. He is slammed back by Tony Edwards, the ponderous middle linebacker for the Longhorns. At the 37-yard line, in 2 plays, Auburn has picked up zilch here, and it's 3rd down and 10.
All right, Bo Jackson, and you said Tony Edwards makes the play. Here comes Bo Jackson. They're really not paying that much attention to AG, which makes you feel they're going to get the ball back. Number 85, Blake Brunner, he was also in on the play.
Now Gaines and Wagan, 2 wide receivers with speed, are in for Auburn. Set out wide. They got a double wing set in the backfield. 1 set back. Here's Washington looking. Fires the sideline. Intended over there for Wagan. Incomplete. Trying for the first down on the sideline pattern. Tony Griffin was covering. DeGreat put on great pressure. And listen to the Texas fans here as coming off is DeGreat with a hook 'em horn sign. As Auburn now will have to kick the ball back to the Longhorns. Once more going against the wind.
Last punt by Colbert, 25 yards. Not very good. He's got to keep the ball low when you kick into the wind.
Auburn probably will have advantage of the win in the second and fourth periods. And remember that fourth quarter in a close game that could be very valuable. Colbert again, the wind catches that ball. Fair catch call and taken to the 45 by Felt again, the up back. And Texas going to come up with great field position. It's only about a 15-yard putt. No score first quarter.
He get a 17-yard putt here, but you must, when you're kicking into the wind, keep the ball as close to the ground as possible. You cannot let it get up in the air. And as soon as he hit it, you saw the ball go straight up in the air, go 17 yards, the wind caught it.
The second time, Texas now takes over its own 45. And here's the play action fake. Dodge over the middle. A wobbly pass thrown incomplete. Trying to hit Harris. Coming across over the middle from tight end. And Kevin Green was back to put the heat on Dodge along with Harold Holman. So pretty good pressure that time, but not a good thrown pass at all.
It wasn't a good thrown pass because the ball is going to go up in the air. This is William Harris coming across. Now watch how high the ball is. First of all, he gets knocked off, but the ball is way too high. No chance at all. And also McCurdy back there again, 52. He's covering a lot of ground.
Well, Bevo getting a little anxious here. Texas not able to cash in on his good field position. Here's a play action rollout. Dodge got a man open. Harris the tight end. Inside the 40 to the 37. Nat Caesar makes the stop. And William Harris is becoming the #1 target for Todd Dodge, who's gone to the air.
Yeah, but you got to watch what Todd Dodge does now. Watch, he's going to go out on a rollout. There is the fake to Robinson in the backfield. Now he sets himself up. You see where you set? You have to do that when you're throwing that pass. When you're rolling to your left and you're a right-handed passer. Now here's Harris. Look at how wide open he is. He's in the secondary. Caesar, number 49, playing the safety spot. The free safety spot never got there.
Kevin Elps and Brett Duhan, the wide receivers. Remember, Elps caught an 80-yarder last year against Auburn. Here's Dodge going to the sidelines to Elps over his head out of bounds. He was pretty well covered down there by David King. Robinson had gone in to put a great rush on Dodge. William Harris was also out there, but it'll be an incomplete pass and second down 10 for Texas.
That's a true sideline when you knock a cameraman down.
Yeah. Just saw what Dodge did last year. He's probably the best pure passer Texas had. He's not a depth runner at all. He's strictly a passer. Had a great record in high school at Port Arthur, where he teamed up with his now teammate Brent Duhan, a wide receiver.
And we're seeing what we talked about at the beginning, the intermediate routes, anywhere from 12 to, I'll give him to 20 yards, not much deeper.
Bill Boy Bryant's in there. He's a clutch catcher wide receiver. Kicks it back to Robinson, tries the sweep. Nope. Auburn's right there to slam the door in the person of Kevin Green. 238-pound senior in from Anniston, Alabama. A walk-on for Pat Dye, and he was Johnny on the spot there along with number 96, John Daly.
Well, Green played it so well on the outside. I mean, there's just no place to go. And when you play the defensive end that well, you better grab your socks.
So it's still 10 yards to go on third down for Texas. They're stalled again here at this time the 38-yard line of Auburn. And Dodge on the play action fake rolling. He fires, got a man open. He hits him down here out of the backfield. Johnson. Johnson's got the first down. He's inside the 20. Texas with an explosive passing attack here. Suddenly on third down connects. Todd Dodge to Jerome Johnson, and it clicks.
You know, you can have all the time in the world, but when you have a back coming out there like Johnson, Jerome Johnson, number 35. Now look at Todd Dodge. He's going towards, he squares his body upfield when he throws the pass. Jerome Johnson is there for the catch. But again, a breakdown in the defensive secondary. No one on Johnson.
Well, the rollout also takes away a lot of the effectiveness of the rush.
It really does. It confines the defensive lineman to the inside, and the only man that really gets a good rush would be the outside end or linebacker if he's blitzing.
Now first and 10 from the Auburn 19. Threat developing here for Texas. They give it the tailback. Robinson breaks a tackle. Picks it to the 10 and inside. Almost a 10-yard powerful run by Ronnie Robinson, a senior from Dallas. Came in here with a hip corner, but he's playing well.
Fullback converted to tailback, but watch this continuous effort. Watch his legs. His legs never stop moving. Gets his feet back underneath him and back to the outside. He picks up about 9 yards, I guess. They're going to measure this thing, almost a first down, but that's just a continuous effort, keeping your legs moving.
Here's the measurement. The referee, by the way, is Joe Thomas. The umpire, Jack Smalley. Linesman, Buddy Coleman. Line judge, Robert Caldwell. If he makes it, it'll be first and goal. Just missed it. Going to be second and inches. Field judge is Ron Underwood, and the back judge is Bobby Skeldon. But Texas now threatening to open the scoring here in the first quarter. 6 minutes, 48 seconds to go. Texas has never lost an opening game under acres. As a matter of fact, they have a great record overall in opening games. They've lost only 9 of them in 91 years.
The one thing that Texas prides themselves, first of all, defense. They stopped Auburn the first two times Auburn had the ball. The other thing is special teams, Jim. They figured that special teams with the turnovers will help their team get him in good field position. But they didn't really do anything on special teams except the punter. For Auburn, Colbert had a 17-yard punt and a 25-yard punt and gave him great field position.
Great story for Dodge. He was supposed to start last year against Auburn, got a shoulder injury, and had to be sidelined. Here he is trying to take Texas in. He hit up the middle with Robinson, and he is crunched hard by that Auburn line. Greg Carr, the All-American linebacker, and Nate Hill, their sensational freshman from LaGrange, Georgia, teamed up to make the stop.
It's going to be 3rd down. He doesn't make it. Here goes Robinson, and he's following Johnson up into the hole. But watch this. Here is the hit coming down the line. Greg Carr was in there, but the hit was made on the outside by number 42. Was that Kelly, I think?
Now they send in 2 tight ends, Texas does, William Harris and Joe Monroe. They also bring in Terry Orr, another fullback for blocking. Texas going to line up with a full house backfield, a power eye, and double tight end try to get this 1st down. Look for Robinson. Yep, it's Robinson. No, he's thrown for a loss at the 10. What a gallant defensive series for Auburn. They've stopped Texas twice now and thrown them for a loss on that play. Gerald Williams, a junior, came up with that one. Fit Thomas.
Gerald Williams, Robinson 95. Williams is number 98. Just watch the surge of the defensive line. When you beat the offensive lineman to the punch, there's just no place to go. That time it was played beautifully.
Remember, it was 2nd down and just inches to go. It's 4th and a yard coming up here with the score. Auburn nothing, Texas nothing. And we'll be right back. He's going to go for it here on 4th and 1 at the Auburn 10. He has sent 3 fullbacks in his lineup. Jerome Johnson, Terry Orr, and Ronnie Robinson with Todd Dodge.
Agree with the call?
That's not a bad call. Certainly probably could get 3, but maybe he's expecting some scoring.
You always put points on the board when you can.
Orr in motion. And here comes Dodge on the bootleg rollout. He's going to get the 1st down. Todd Dodge may get a touchdown. He does. Touchdown, Texas. It was a naked rollout on a great fake. Well, nothing surprises like surprise.
That was a beautiful call, Jim. And what happens when a linebacker commits himself, and I think it was Greg Carr, number 54, you must stay at home because you're not going to help anything on the other side of the field.
And remember, the book on Todd Dodge is he can't run.
Someone forgot to tell Todd Dodge that.
And the try for the point after Jeff Ward. And he's 32 in a row without a miss is Jeff Ward. This sophomore from Austin has never missed a point after. Let's take a look again at this bootleg rollout by Dodge. Very few blockers in front of him.
All right, watch number 72. He's going to block down. Number 78, Stewart, pulls to the left. Now, Todd Dodge has the ball coming this way. All the action goes left, the right of Auburn, and here comes Dodge back to the outside. Really, nobody there. Robinson, Gerald Robinson, number 95 was there. Carr did not stay at home where he should have stayed. And there's a touchdown.
All right, great shots we're getting here from our Goodyear blimp with Captain Pilot Jim Dexter from Baltimore, Maryland, and the Goodyear Blimp America from Houston, Texas. And coming up next week, North Carolina, they showed their scoring punch today. We'll take on Boston College, the great Doug Flutie. That'll be 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time, September 22nd. In 2 weeks, Navy with the great Napoleon McCallum. They sprung an upset in Chapel Hill today. They'll take on Arkansas, new coaching regime down there. That'll be in Little Rock. So those are the games coming up here in College Football Association action on ESPN. Well, a happy young man there. Todd Dodge just scored his 1st touchdown of the season, and Texas leads 7-0. Back deep now will be Brent Fullwood for Auburn. And here's Ward with another bounding kick. They respect the speed of Auburn. This one's going to go through the end zone. Will come out to the 20. The new rule does not affect that ball. It has to carry beyond the end line on the fly to come to the 30. This will be 1st and 10 Auburn at the 20-yard line.
Well, there's the drive. 9 plays, 55 yards, 328, and then Dodge on the run. But see, this penalizes a kicker, Jeff Ward, with that rule. Because with the wind at his back, Jeff Ward can kick the ball out of this end zone. But if he does, the ball comes out to the 30-yard line.
Now Auburn in their eye. Here's a pitch to Bo Jackson. Spilled up back there. A fine low tackle by Stephen Braggs, a strong safety. And Paul, Texas is throwing everybody up here to put pressure against Auburn's run.
And I'll tell you one thing, if Braggs doesn't make this play, Bo Jackson is gone. Bo Jackson, now watch this. He's going to cut back to the outside. Watch where Braggs catches him with his feet. He just whips out. Bo Jackson's feet slip out from underneath him. If he'd have gotten around there, you don't see it on the replay, but there's no one out there.
Bo Jackson runs the 100 in about 9.4. That's how he can fly. It's like a fumble, and Washington drops on it. He escapes a little disaster right there for Auburn. Texas leads 7-0. And Auburn having a little trouble getting on track here offensively in the first quarter of the game. A ball will be spotted at the 17-yard line. It'll be third down, about 13 to go. James Lott comes in replacing Eric Jeffries in the backfield for Texas. Akers a little anxious about his young defensive players back there. They're trying to get a lot of pressure with his linemen on the pass. We're not giving them enough time. The passing situation here for Washington. Washington sacked. That was DeGreat. Tony DeGreat was in there and dropped Washington like a freight train, and he goes down inside the 10-yard line. And Texas is really fired up.
Well, Tony DeGreat, he runs over Floyd, number 63, the tackle. But this is Tony DeGreat at his best, and you want to watch Washington disappear. Now, he's gone. There's DeGreat. Floyd, number 63, is on the ground.
Well, small wonder, number 99 is a candidate for national honors. A little bobble there by Colbert. He gets it away. Wynn catches it again. And here's going to be the catch taken about the 45-yard line. And the run back by Calvin Epps only about a yard or so. ESPN is proud to announce its association with the Chevrolet Scholarship Program. ESPN sports commentators will be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team as part of every 1984 college football telecast. Chevrolet then honors those selections by donating $1,000 to each college general scholarship fund that'll help advance the education of deserving students. It's the beginning of this program's 14th year, and here at ESPN, we're very proud to be participating. This is in Auburn territory at the 44. The wind's been a very big factor here in the first quarter. And here's a give on the inside. They try to fool him with a fake on the pitch out. And Rob Morshell now is in the backfield, but that ball went to the fullback Terry Orr, and Greg Carr met him in the line of scrimmage. A little welcoming committee that Orr's not going to forget for a minute or two. He really rocked him.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, well, Bob Morshell. Now remember, this man was a quarterback.
Matter of fact, he was a starting quarterback until about a week ago.
Yeah, well, now he's a halfback, but he does have a bad back. But don't be surprised to see the old pitch and the pass.
That could be a halfback pass. Morshell, who is scheduled to be the starting quarterback, now running a tailback. Another rollout, play action fake. They throw it back to Morshell. Off on the screen pass inside the 40. And he's going to be stopped way short of the first down by Ben McCurdy, weak side linebacker. Texas has not been bashful at all about reaching down the bag of tricks here tonight. They have played wide open football against Auburn, which shows great respect for Auburn's defense. Texas likes to set up and just run straight at you and realizes Auburn's got an outstanding team. They've had to mix in a lot more. The wind, no doubt, has had a bit of force here in the first quarter of this game. It's kept Texas in great field position. Morshell has come out of there. Tailback is Orr on the only setback. Here's the quick one over the middle of Bill Boy Bryant. Bill Boy Bryant looking for open field. 20, 15, cutting back. Bill Boy Bryant to the 10. And down on the 7-yard line. Spectacular run by colorful Bill Boy Bryant.
Well, when you see Bill Boy Bryant, you're going to see when they throw the ball out here, Dodge throws it, he sees him, he reads the defense, looking. No one is near him. That's Beasley, number 31. Now, Bill Boy is going to make a lot of cuts and a lot of moves that excites the crowd, but he's going to make one last cut that he wished he didn't make because Nate Hill, number 99, is going to make him disappear right about now. Goodbye.
Nate Hill's a 265-pound freshman tackle from LaGrange, Georgia. They think he's going to be a great All-American now. There's Bill Boy Bryant. That's his real name, Bill Boy. He's a clutch player, a high school quarterback who set a lot of records down in Dublin, Texas. And here he is, a senior. He's going to join the PGA Tour someday, he hopes, an outstanding golfer. North Carolina versus Boston College will be coming to you from Foxborough next Saturday. September 22nd, 7:30 Eastern Time. That'll be Doug Flutie, who's a good candidate for the Heisman Trophy, against North Carolina, a team that was surprised today but showed a lot of scoring punts. Then Navy versus Arkansas on September the 29th from Little Rock. Those are the next two games coming up on Saturday Night Football from the CFA, the College Football Association, the most exciting brand of football being played and one of the most exciting sports in the world. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Texas leads here. There's the record we told you. They lost only 9 times in 91 years in opening games. Fred Akers has never lost an opening game here at home. Matter of fact, Texas has won 8 in a row in opening game, and they lead 7-0 here over Auburn, but we're early in the game. They're threatening again. First and goal. Ball at the 7-yard line. They got another full house backfield here. The handoff is to Orr. Tries to duck inside, and there's nothing there. Thought he saw a crack, but it was closed up very quickly. Pat Thomas looked like the first man that got to him, number 41. Auburn's defense has been backed up the entire first quarter. It started when they were unable to get a first down in the first series, and then the wind played havoc with the Auburn punting. Texas moved down, tried a field goal, didn't miss. Looked like Auburn would get a break. They still couldn't move against the Texas defense. The next time the Longhorns took it in, and here they are back once more. Double tight end, Harrison Monroe. Tailback is Robinson. They give it to Orr again. Blockers in front of him. Cuts back, and he is to the goal line, but I don't think he got it over. Terry Orr, a senior from Abilene, has been plagued by injury, but he's been a key man already here for Texas in the first quarter. 1 minute 25 seconds to go in the quarter, and Texas leads 7-0, and they're threatening to make it more. There's what Terry did last year. Not bad. He was one of the all-time high school players down here in Texas a few years ago, and he's had a lot of injuries here. But tonight, looks like he's ready for a big season in 1984. Michael Brown now has gone in, replacing Ronnie Robinson. Brown is a senior from Dallas.
They're getting everybody in the game, aren't they?
Third down, they got less than a yard to go for a touchdown. They give it over the middle to Orr. Oh, no, it's Brown. Michael Brown, touchdown for Texas. Well, it was Terry Orr. Orr, who dives over the middle, gets the touchdown.
Well, look at all the action. Watch the offensive line. They must get off, which they did right there. And you see Orr go up over the top. Remember, only the ball has to break the plane. The ball did that. Both officials at the same time have the touchdown.
So Texas has scored twice in the first quarter. 50 seconds to go. Ward's in to try for his 33rd straight point after touchdown. He's got it. Almost automatic. And Smokey the Cannon is already in action here in Austin tonight. As we come down the final minute of the first quarter, Texas goes up 14-zip.
Well, I watched the line play, first of all. They get the defensive linemen all down. When that happens, then Orr goes up over the top. Thomas, the defensive tackle, tries to get there, but there's too much power. Now, just watching the line, and watch where the white shirts are. They're down, and when they get down, then Orr can go up over the top.
Well, Paul, we figured coming in this game, it's going to be decided in the trenches. And 14 points, of course, not that great a lead. The game's far from being over. We're too early. But the battle of the lines has already shown us that it's really happening there with authority for Texas.
And I just feel now that Auburn must get the ball, not only to Bo Jackson, but start to utilize Tommy Agee, number 30, their fullback.
Each time Jeff Ward has refused to kick with the wind at his back, and he sails another one back there. Picked off here by Ed Graham. Graham comes over the 20. 25, he's filled up there at the 28-yard line. Number 21, Ed Graham. Well, we're delighted to be here, Texas, and we're delighted to be here in 1984 to bring you live football action from the College Football Association lineup. There's a score from Tennessee. Johnny Major's ball 7, Utah nothing. Tennessee expects to be a force in the Southeastern Conference. Auburn, of course, will be going back to conference battle. And there's Big Bertha, the world's biggest band. 500 pounds. Auburn now with Pat Washington back for the wishbone. Gives it into the first man, Agee, the fullback. He is stacked up after a short game by Ralph Darnell and Tom Aldridge. Maybe a couple-yard pickup.
Here's the man that must take the pressure off Bo Jackson. That's Tommy Agee, number 30. And when he reads it, now he picked up only 2 yards on the play, but what it does, it makes the Texas defense start thinking a little bit now about Agee. Maybe take their mind off of Bo Jackson.
Coming down the end of the first quarter. Here's the pitch to Bo Jackson. Cuts through a hole, makes his way up over the 35. About 2 or 3 yards short of the first down. Mark Petkovich, a backup middle linebacker, spilled in there. Now we're going to come down the end of the quarter. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And that's the end of the first quarter. And Austin with the score, Texas 14 and the Auburn Tigers nothing.
Attention to details made North American Van Lines the moving company thousands of American families choose. And today, North American offers you expert moving service and a great moving value. Savings at True Value hardware stores. Call your North American agent for an interstate moving survey and get this savings book worth 25% off these popular products at participating True Value hardware stores nationwide. Now you can make your new house a home. Go North American, a real True Value in moving.
Compared to ordinary snips, Wiss Metal Master snips will give you twice as much leverage. That means you can cut down to the tip of the blades without leaving ragged edges, without overcutting, and without losing your control on the turns. So now you can deal with sheet metal as if you were cutting paper. Wiss Metal Master snips from Cooper Tools, the difference between work and workmanship.
Mr. Wills, you seem different lately.
Really?
Is that a new suit?
No.
Did you lose weight?
Uh-uh.
New glasses.
No new glasses.
The best thing about Grecian formula is no one ever knows you're using it. Grecian's not a dye. It's a clear liquid that gradually brings your gray hair back to a natural-looking color.
You shaved your mustache.
I never had a mustache.
I knew that.
Grecian Formula 16, liquid and cream. There's no telling who uses it.
Right now, when you buy certain Attic insulation, you'll get more than high-quality, energy-saving fiberglass. You'll also get a $1 rebate. In fact, you'll get $1 back for each of the first 40 rolls of certain R19 you buy. Of course, an offer this good can't last forever, so look for the CertainTeed Buck-a-Bundle rebate display at participating dealers now. You'll save money, saving energy.
Overhead, the Goodyear blimp here as the action comes to you from Austin, Texas. We're going to quarter number 2. The Auburn Tigers. This will be an interesting third down play here. They've got third and about 3. And now the wind at the back for Auburn. Auburn has yet to score a first down. Texas had 5 in the first quarter. There's the familiar wishbone of Pat Dye. Pitch to Bo Jackson. Jackson got the first down, breaks tackles and drives up over the 40. It's the first down for Auburn. Mark Petkovich and Eric Jeffries were the men on the stop for Texas. But what's more important, it may get Auburn started. The wind's at their back. Texas took great advantage of the wind in the first quarter, and now it's Auburn's turn. Look at this first quarter. That should tell you. Look at Auburn. Minus yardage rushing and total yardage, 117-7.
Texas defense.
First down play, and here's Washington's play action, drills it, and it's caught by Gaines. Jeffries hits him down, and he's across into Texas territory for the first time, and close to a first down. Trey Gaines, best hands on the team, number 19 right there for Auburn. Came out of a knee injury in the spring and has won the split-end position away from a couple of young players, Freddie Wagan and Clayton Buford. It is a first down for Auburn, their second in a row.
You know what's so bad about those first quarter stats, Jim, is that against Miami, the Auburn Tigers only had 2 players that graded out in the plus column.
Steve Wallace, the big left tackle, is one of them. Now they got the 2 young wide receivers in there. As the long, they're going for the bomb, could be intercepted. Ray was back there but couldn't quite reach it. Intended for Wagan, way overthrown, and Jerry Gray was there. And who will forget the overthrown pass Washington had that could have beat Miami?
Well, I don't even have any idea where Washington, unless he was throwing to a spot and Wagan went the wrong way, because look, at the ball is thrown to the outside. Gray, being the fine safety that he is, he played the ball. Wagan was 10 yards to the inside. Pat Dye saying to his assistants, who was he throwing that to?
Second down and 10. Auburn at the Texas 47. It's their first penetration of Texas territory. Fullback Agee's got it. He breaks through there. Tracks down for a first down. Almost the 35-yard line. Penalty flag is dropped. Jerry Gray's the man who made the stop. There may be a face guard, and if so, it could be against Texas. And this could set Auburn up now for a scoring opportunity. Let's listen to the referee, Joe Thomas. Well, there's the signal at least. Face guard against Texas. That'll be an add-on penalty.
Incidental, which is
5 yards, right?
And if they rip your face off, that's 15.
15. And a dozen roses.
That's right. And half a new face.
31 yards.
Grasping a face mask. Defense, 5 yards. First down.
And that sets Auburn up at the Texas 31. War Eagle getting ready to fly here, perhaps. Don't worry, she's anchored down. You could hear that quiet over the Auburn fans that are in here. Texas brought its first line linebackers back in the game. Washington now. Counterplay to Bo Jackson. He almost broke it. Jackson to the 20-yard line. Middle linebacker Tony Edwards smelled that play just in time.
You talk about a counter play and you hit it right on the head, my friend, but just take a look at watch Bo Jackson. They're all going to go right, and watch Bo come back to the left. Just a great handoff. The block was made there on Tony. The great was blocked, and then downfield for the play goes Bo Jackson, and well, he's about a half a yard short, about 9.5 yards.
Jackson goes out of the lineup. Tim Jesse comes in to replace him. Fullback is still Agee. Got second, about a yard to go. And they give it to Agee for the first down. He's got it and more. Agee follows his center, Yan Coward and Jeff Lott, for yardage for another first down. Ralph Darnell and Stephen Bragg with the bottom of the stack for Texas. Another first down, and Auburn is rolling. It looks like the team that has the win is the one that moves.
Fred Akers a little concerned. He's got a 14-point lead. Let's get up in there. Now, I'll tell you something. On that second down and short, where that half yard, Texas had all 11 men up on a line of scrimmage. Weigand was downfield, so was Buford. They were both downfield wide open. If they ever pull up and just hit that pop pass and waste it down, could have a touchdown.
First down play coming up for Washington. Auburn threatening. Here's the play action rollout. Didn't fool Texas. Into the end zone, incomplete. Trying to hit Weigand, the youngster. He was pretty well covered by Jeff Fries back in the corner of the end zone.
Well, we know Pat Washington has a strong arm. That time he was going to run a rollout, a bootleg play, and Texas read it very well. So he just sat up flat-footed and threw the ball clear across field. I mean, it was out of bounds.
That was Jim Moore, Paul, who journeyman senior left in and got in there and stopped that bootleg from really developing. Second and 10 now for Auburn at the Texas 16. He gives it to Agee. Agee on a slap, breaks a tackle inside the 10-yard line, and down he goes. Jerry Gray, the All-American free safety, had to come in and finally take him down. Boy, he's a tough runner.
Yeah, but for you young high school players, you want to know how to run the fullback slot. Agee knows he's going to get hit every time he carries the ball. Watch his legs. I say this, and I'll say it in the game. Watch his legs. They never stop moving. His legs are churning. Watch this. He'll break back to the outside, breaks the tackle, then he moves back upfield and picks up about 7 yards.
And a pretty good stutter step mixed in there. Nice game. Third down and 3. Auburn's inside the Texas 10. Big play. Agee, they call his number again.
He's got it.
And he's got it inside the 5-yard line. First and goal for Auburn. Jerry Gray again makes the stop, but too late to save the first down for Auburn.
Told you yesterday, Agee's going to make the difference in this ball game. Now watch this. He hits at the line of scrimmage. Look at his legs. The continuous effort of Agee never slows down. I don't like second effort. You know why? When people say second effort, it's like he quit the first time. That's
right. This continues first effort. Remember, he got over 90 yards against Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. Now Auburn trying to get 7 points back to trail 14-0. They give it to Bo Jackson. He tries the left side, running right behind Big Steve Wallace. And he gets some precious yardage in there before Ralph Darnell and Tony Edwards can find him. It'll be second down and goal, and they'll have about 2.5 yards to go for pay dirt. Oh, Pat Dice getting a little excited over the sidelines there. Remember, Auburn won the first SEC championship in 26 years under Pat. He's become very popular down there for a guy who used to be an assistant for Bear Bryant.
Now we have a timeout by Auburn.
And it comes with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half. From Austin, Texas, the score, Texas 14, Auburn nothing. Football 84 on ESPN is brought to you by Jeep Corporation. There's a great look at the Memorial Stadium here on the campus, University of Texas. And Pat Dye along the Auburn sidelines. A little more excited now. His team trailed 14-0 going in this quarter, but now they're on the threshold of breaking in. Second and goal, about 2.5 yards. They come 70 yards on this drive. Here's the keeper, Washington. Pitches it out, and it's a touchdown by Collins. Kyle Collins, the left halfback. Great option pitch out on the fake by Washington. Drew in the Texas defense. Pretty play, Paul McGuire.
Oh, it was a pretty play. And Washington, he may not be able to complete passes downfield, but sideways he can throw the ball. There's your pal, the War Eagle. You want to see him jump on Bevo. Watch this. Now watch Washington. Watch him flip it. That ball goes out about 12 yards. Here comes Collins. Not a chance on the outside by Jerry Gray. Collins with a touchdown. That's perfect. Like I said, he can't throw him downfield, but sideways is beautiful.
So Auburn, with the wind at its back, has come back to get half the scores back. It's 14-6. Here's the try for the extra point. Drilled right through there by Robert McGinney. And now it's suddenly back to a 7-point lead. The score, Texas 14 and Auburn 7. Collins, a junior from Gadsden, Alabama, has just given Auburn new life here with a 2-yard touchdown run, and he's put the Tigers back in the ball game. Texas lead now 14-7, and Auburn, with a wins its back, has gotten a breath of confidence as preparing to kick off. Right here is Robert McGinney. Tillman is waiting back deep with Elf. He's going to go back in the end zone, and right there, Tony Tillman will kill it down. Texas will take over the 20. Here's the scoring play.
All right, well, now watch what Washington does. He goes down the line. There is the fake to A.G. up the middle. And see Collins dragging on the outside. He just pushes the ball to him. Gray, really no chance. Collins, when Gray was there, Collins was already in the end zone. There he comes right in your face. You can see he's already crossed the end line when Gray got to him. Collins, you think he's not happy? Watch it. Hello.
That was a very impressive drive by Auburn. They were stunned in the first quarter. Rock back on their heels here with Texas, the home team. There's the scoring drive. They went 72 yards in less than 5 minutes. Took them 13 plays. Now it's 14-7. Texas comes out to take over in its own 20. Terry Orr's in the backfield. Dodge on the deep handoff. Gives it off to Orr. And he tries the right side. Jerome Johnson hits in, and Gerald Williams stops him short of the 25. Yep, the Auburn fans are cheering again here. And you can hear the cries of War Eagle beginning to mount a little bit. This is going to be a good one before it's over.
Jim, I believe that Texas can throw the ball to their outside men anytime they want to do that. And the reason I'm saying that because Briggs, number 4, and David King, who is an excellent cornerback, well, Porter's in there now, but they're staying anywhere from 8 to 10 yards off the wide receivers. They're giving the first down.
All right, here's the handoff to Kevin Nelson, and a little bit of a cross fake back there. Gerald Williams wasn't fooled at all. He stops the play, doesn't let him get outside on the right. And it'll be third down coming up, and about 3 yards to go for a first down.
The nose tackle is really a thankless job. You've got to play. He's playing against Gene the Coke Machine. Big Gene, 74-94. And Hallman gets there. Hallman gets to the play, but Gerald Williams is the guy that caught it from the backside.
Well, you mentioned that Gene Chilton, 290 pounds, and he has bench pressed 520 pounds. Big play for Texas. They got to try to get back some of the momentum. Here comes Dodge rolling out. Dodge fires it, drills it to Bill Boy Bryant for a first down. Caught over the 35-yard line. It'll be a first down for Texas. Alvin Briggs, but that was a comeback pattern for a very heady Bill Boy Bryant, who can really read those defenders.
And Todd Dodge got nailed after he threw the ball, but just take a look. He's going to look to the outside. He knows he can't get outside, so watch him. He'll turn, set up. Bill Boy Bryant coming back, but look at how far Briggs, number 4, is off of Bryant. They have not thrown a deep ball yet. Bill Boy Bryant is not known to get deep, and they're playing way off. But as we found out, that Auburn, coming into this game, thought that Texas would try to go for the bomb.
Here's Dodge in, gives off to his deep tailback and runs into one of his own players. Kevin Nelson does, and he is filled up by Ben Thomas, a 275-pounder right tackle for Auburn. Well, they say he can be as good as he wants to be.
Nelson ran into his own man. It looked like that, but Gerald Williams, number 98, was pushing both the offensive linemen back into the ball carrier.
Got another new wide receiver here for Texas. They've come in with Russell Hayes, a senior from San Antonio. Hayes goes out the right side, and Billboard Bryce the slot, so both wide receivers are to the right. Dodge sends his big fullback up to the floor, fumbles the ball. Auburn recovers around the 45 of Texas. The first big turnover break of the game, and with a score, Texas 14, Auburn 7. The Tigers now are back in the hunt.
Bronco 2 never made it.
Well, take a good look at this guy, number 94. He's going to be a Marine officer when he gets out of school. Harold Holman plays the nose guard spot for Auburn, and Paul just mentioned the punishment they take. But boy, did he plop on that loose ball.
He sure did. When he sees it, you got to go after it.
Washington now set to go with the wishbone. Let's see if Auburn with the momentum here can keep rolling. They give it to Bo Jackson. Jackson, little sidestep, almost broke it. Pulled down the 40 after a gain of 5. Now here's the play of the fumble turnover a moment ago by Texas.
Well, there's Zorg dropping the ball. Carr is in there, number 54, and then you see Hallman, number 94. All he wants to do is get on that football. You can't pick it up and run with it.
He really gobbled it up, didn't he? Give Bo Jackson a 6-yard gain to the 39. Second down and 4 for Auburn. Now they're running with power. They give it the fullback, Agee. Tries for the first down, doesn't get it. Rather Ware, Reggie Ware, freshman fullback's in there. Tony DeGreat stopped him for Texas. I think Ware is going to be a great one. 238-pounder from Huntsville, Alabama. Had back-to-back 1,000-yard years in high school. And here he is, a pure freshman playing in his first varsity game for Auburn. 2 tight ends now in for the Tigers. 3rd and 2. Texas looking for the short play on the line. And they hand it off to Kyle Collins, and Texas meets him. He doesn't get the first down. It was Bill Hefcock and June James for the Longhorns to make the stop.
Now, June James is just an excellent football player, number 62 on the outside. He is a linebacker. He is there, but he really doesn't. Runner number 85 is in on making a tackle. Collins did not get to the line, back to the line, almost to the line of scrimmage. But I'll tell you, where they marked the ball, his forward progress was about 1.5 yards further. But Texas played defense so well.
All right, it's 4th down. The score, Texas 14, Auburn 7. And we'll be right back to Memorial Stadium. Bevo, the 12th, looking on here as his team leads by 7, facing a big 4th down play here by Auburn. 4th about 2. Roll out by Washington. He's going to run for the first down. He's got it. Washington inside the 30. 25 for Pat Washington. A first down for Auburn, and a big 4th down call for Pat Dye.
First of all, you have to admire that man's guts for doing it. You're down 7 points, but the play that was called was absolutely spectacular. Watch the play of the offensive line. Here they come. They're coming out to the outside. Stokes and Lott blocking in front. There's Lott, 66. Stokes is 64. And all he's doing, Washington's no dummy. He just said, I'll get behind 66, Jeff Lott, and follow him.
Now Auburn's rolling again. First down at the Texas 25. They trail by just 7. Washington goes to sidelines. Incomplete, penalty down intended for Clayton Buford. Number 11. Covering over there was James Lott. But a flag goes down. I think Texas might have been offsides.
You're absolutely right. Texas offside. They'll take a 5-yard penalty here.
You know, this the first half has been like 2 different halves. Texas dominated the first quarter.
Move. The guard can't move.
Freddie Akers letting him know the guard. He thought the offensive guard made a move. But you ever see a fellow think that his team made the mistake?
They don't see it that way. You know, this Texas team is so good on defense. They really are.
Offside, defense, first down.
They are a strong defensive team. Again, I say they use their kicking game better than I think any other college team in the country. And right now, the one man that they were afraid of was Bo Jackson, who is doing a job, but also Agee is hurting him.
Fullwood and Jess here and there. Here's the pitch back to Fullwood. Fullwood tries to sweep to the right side. Trying to cut inside in. Moves it down close to the 15. Bill Hefcock. Texas tripped him up. So it's going to be very close to a first down. It was 1st and 5 after the penalty. Fullwood got the starting call tonight. The sophomore is a very exciting player. Isn't the blocker that Tim Jesse is, but he's got more explosiveness, and in broken field, he is something to watch. It'll be 2nd and less than a yard here for Auburn, maybe a chance for Washington to try to fake him and do something. Nope, he's going to try to get the first down. He does. That's Brett Fullwood cracking in behind Rondi Stokes and down to the 10-yard line for a first down for Auburn. June James on the stop, but Auburn's power now is coming to the fore for the Tigers.
All right, Tony DeGreat, the man we're talking about. Now watch, they're going to double team him right here. There is the double team. Lott is blocking. Once you get Tony DeGreat out of there, now all you have to worry about is the linebacker.
Another great block by Tommy Agee on that play, too. 1st and 10. Ball just outside of 10. They could get a first down, I believe. Virtually 1st and goal. There's a mix-up, and Washington has to eat the ball at the line of scrimmage. Hefcock and Adams put the pressure on from tackle for Texas.
Actually, that ball popped up in the air, and it came right back down into Washington's hands. It was a fumble.
Bo Jackson's coming back on the field for Auburn. That always causes a little more excitement. Jackson, who's been a leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy since last year, led the Southeastern Conference rushing with over 1,200 yards in 3 other categories, has had a little trouble, has not been in contact practice since the Miami game because of an ankle injury. Tony DeGreat has come back in for Texas. 2nd down and goal for Auburn. And they give it on the inside handoff, and DeGreat again stops that play. Handoff is for the fullback Tommy Agee. James also knifed over from his linebacking post to help out. Texas defense really tightens up down here when you get near the goal line. They've always been noted for that. And Auburn's got tremendous power with guys like number 30 Agee and number 34 Bo Jackson. 14-7. Auburn trying to tie it up here. 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line. Take a pass, Paul. They got Middleton out the right.
A bootleg or a roll.
Gaines is split wide to the left. It's a delayed draw play to Fullwood, and he's hit around the 6-yard line. Brett Fullwood, a little draw play. Tony Edwards, the middle linebacker, saw the play and he made the stop. McGinney there, and in comes number 13 for Auburn. That's McGinney, the kicker. And they'll try for the field goal, heading the margin to 4 points if he can hit. It'll be a little bit of an angle from the right for the soccer-style kicker, and a try at 22 yards. Mike Mann will hold at the 12-yard line.
Tough angle. This is a tough angle.
Wind at his back for McGinney. And the kick is up, and it is good. So McGinney has picked up 3 more for Auburn with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the first half. It is now Texas 14 and Auburn 10. Well, the Auburn fans have fired up here. They've gotten back in this ball game. They trail 14-0. ESPN delighted to be on hand to see you live action of this game from the College Football Association lineup. Deep kickoff the end zone. Running it out of there is Tony Tillman. Tillman the 15 looking for a block. Tillman the 25, and he is pulled down around the 27. A gritty little run back by Tony Tillman, a sophomore from Borga, Texas. He's the nickel defensive specialist, and he's in there running back kickoffs tonight. Pulled down by Powell around the 27.
And I'll tell you right now, Tommy Powell, number 9, might have saved a touchdown.
40-yard drive by Auburn in 11 plays, and got the 22-yard field goal by McGinty. So Texas prevented the tying touchdown, gave up the 3-point field goal, and it's 14-10. This game settling in what we all expected, a battle between 2 national powers here for tremendous amount of prestige on the line. Texas at its own 27. Johnson, Nelson, the setbacks behind Dodds. Gives the first guy, Johnson. Fullback, tries right guard, just straight power, straight ahead. Ben Thomas of Auburn was there around the 31. Well, there's the Texas flag in Old Glory. And part of the color here at Memorial Stadium is 80,000 look on for this opening game for Texas and the number 2 game for Auburn, a team that was surprised and upset by Miami 19 days ago. It's been a long layoff for the Tigers, and they've had a lot to think about. 2nd down and 5. Epps and Duhan, the wide receivers here for Dodge. Deep handoff again goes to Nelson, and Nelson is dropped back at the 30 for a loss by Gerald Robinson, the left end of Auburn.
Gerald Robinson played that play so well. He was to the outside. Texas ran the ball on 1st down, picked up 5 yards. Ran the ball on 2nd down, lost 2 yards. Texas again, and we have to say this one more time, they are going with two fullbacks, with Jerome Johnson, number 35, and Ronnie Robinson, number 49, because of the injuries to the tailback position.
Johnson, the fullback, has Kevin Nelson, a freshman tailback, behind him. Here's the play action fake. Dodge drills it incomplete. But boy, that was great pressure being put on upfield here by Auburn. Gerald Williams broke in there, had a lot of pressure on Dodge. He had to throw it way before he wanted to. And it's 4th down for Texas.
Well, you're off of this formation. You run a play action pass on 3rd down, but let's take a look at the secondary. Now you see the people that will release. Briggs releases downfield. Lets the wide receiver go back, and he's got the short man, which would have been the tight end Harris, and the ball was underthrown.
And the punt now is Talchik. High snap, but he's going to get it off. Low driving kick might be run back. Gaines is back there. Gaines running laterally, and will not get across the 30. Good kick coverage by the Texas Longhorns. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half of play, and Texas leads it by 4. 14-10.
Talchik, just watch what he had to do, and he doesn't lose his concentration. Look at how high he had to go in the air. Now watch what he does. Look at his head. His head is down. All he's concentrating on now is get the ball off. Boy, that's beautiful.
And there's our fine cameraman Jones up there, the captain pilot Jim Dexter for Baltimore, Maryland, on the Goodyear blimp America from Houston, Texas, giving us outstanding shots of this colorful game. And coming up at halftime from Sports Center, George Graham will have all the scores and highlights of this game, scores of other games around the country. And there were some surprises today, so you'll want to stay tuned at halftime for George. There's the score here tonight at the first quarter. Ole Miss leading Arkansas 7-0. That's Arkansas's opening game under Hatfield, I believe.
We'll be down in Arkansas in 2 weeks. Looking forward to seeing Arkansas again.
And Napoleon McCallum. Petkovich, they're helping up here. Mark Petkovich is a backup middle linebacker. Plays behind Tony Edwards for Texas. So limping just a little bit, but doesn't look real serious from here. Game's been pretty clean of injuries so far. It's amazing how the team with the wind at its back has held the upper hand in each quarter. Texas led 14-0 with the win in the first period. Then Auburn turned around, had been shut out with a minus yardage rushing in the first quarter. Then Auburn picked it up, and they've scored twice, touchdown and a field goal, and we're 14-10 coming in the final minute 53 of the first half. Here's Auburn back to the attack. Reggie Ware still running at fullback. And there's a give to Reggie Ware by Washington, and he is swarmed over and pounded back. June James, the first to hit him. Then came a wave of burnt orange, and he was dropped back, but his forward motion will net about a 2-yard gain. Both these teams have great non-conference schedules. Auburn has already played Miami, Texas. They'll later play Florida State. Texas got Oklahoma and Penn State. Here's Washington. Drills a spot pass. He's hit Buford. Buford up over the 45 for a first down. Stopped by Tony Tillman. But number 11, Clayton Buford, just a sophomore. A very elusive and speedy player. There's what he did in 1984 so far in this game.
Watch now, Buford 11 on 11. Tillman on Buford. Watch this. Hook up. The ball is there in a hurry. Washington hits him. Now watch this move back to the inside. But I'll tell you right now, Tillman did not leave him. He stayed right with him.
Washington looking, pitches it back, and they scramble for it. That was Tim Jesse. That play wasn't designed to go that way. Washington wanted to pass. Hethcock came on and put great pressure. The ball almost got away from Jesse, but he was able to cover it for Auburn. Less than a minute to go now in the first half here from Memorial Stadium in Austin. Pat Dye's team has come back after being floored in the first quarter to the tune of 14-0. It's now 14-10. Time for a couple of more plays, perhaps. Now penalty flag goes down. And we'll see what this is all about. Possible delay of game. Watch Joe Thomas. Offsides. So it's offsides against Auburn, the offensive team. Freddie Wiegand, we believe, is the guy. Might have lined up offsides. 5-yard penalty. Stops the clock with 37 seconds to go.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Offense. Play it out.
Contact was made before the snap. Gaines is wide to right. Buford is in the slot. And here's Washington. Drills it up the middle. Drop. Incomplete. Tried to hit Trey Gaines over the middle. An incomplete pass. Wagan it was coming from the left side. 32 seconds to go. And third down coming up for Auburn. They got about a half mile to go. It's third and about 20.
Well, Wagan, number 14 that time. Washington picked the right man to throw the ball to because he had one-on-one coverage on Tony Griffin, and they've got the same situation again.
Here's a draw play to Agee. Agee gets some running room. Agee to 50. Does not get the first down. He stopped on the Texas 48-yard line with 23 seconds to go. Tony Griffin makes a stop. Let's see if Texas uses a timeout here to stop the clock. 18, 17.
I don't understand why Auburn doesn't take a timeout.
No, they're going to run out the clock on fourth down. Here's Washington. Washington back downfield, and he's hit his man, Wagan, over the middle of the 35 for a first down with 6 seconds to go. Tony Griffin makes the stop, and Auburn does call timeout. You know, you thought Texas might have called timeout there looking for Auburn to punt the ball, but it didn't happen, and Auburn took advantage.
Well, Texas, first of all, I didn't think Texas would take one, Jim, for the simple reason they're going to get the ball back in the second half. So they don't care about having the ball with 6 or 7 seconds left to go. But what they do right, here's what you do now. They're in field goal range with this win. McGinney, I would say, now, according to Coach Dye and the staff, and he's a 55, 57-yard field goal kicker. This kick would be about 51 yards. But I think what they would like to do is go for one quick play, get him a little bit closer. And remember now, on a first down in college football, the clock will stop. But there are only 6 seconds, so you've got to either throw the ball towards the sideline to get out quick. And if you go deep, the long ball, by the time that Washington sets up and throws the ball deep, the clock will run out. So it's got to be something short.
Okay, Paul, coming up at halftime, Sports Center with all the scores and highlights with Gail Gardner. Texas leading by 4 points. Auburn not going to go for the field goal. They're going to go for the long bomb here, what looks like the last play of the first half. Washington to the sidelines, hits Wagan. They try to get it down there closer, and they get out of bounds with 1 second to go. Smart play, sets up a shorter field goal try.
Well, it's a perfect call because, you know, if you throw, like I said, there was 1 second. That took 5 seconds just to get Wagan down 12 yards and then out of bounds. If you go deep with the bomb, Jim, they do right, here's what you do now. They're in field goal range with this win. McGinney, I would say, now, according to Coach Dye and the staff, and he's a 55, 57-yard field goal kicker. This kick would be about 51 yards. But I think what they would like to do is go for one quick play, get him a little bit closer. And remember now, on a first down in college football, the clock will stop. But there are only 6 seconds, so you've got to either throw the ball towards the sideline to get out quick. And if you go deep, the long ball, by the time that Washington sets up and throws the ball deep, the clock will run out. So it's got to be something short.
Okay, Paul, coming up at halftime, Sports Center with all the scores and highlights with Gail Gardner. Texas leading by 4 points. Auburn not going to go for the field goal. They're going to go for the long bomb here, what looks like the last play of the first half. Washington to the sidelines, hits Wagan. They try to get it down there closer, and they get out of bounds with 1 second to go. Smart play, sets up a shorter field goal try.
Well, it's a perfect call because, you know, if you throw, like I said, there was 1 second. That took 5 seconds just to get Wagan down 12 yards and then out of bounds. If you go deep with the bomb, Jim, the 6 seconds would have gone. Here we go.
And McGinney now from 40 yards, and he's got it up there with plenty to spare. And it is good. And Auburn has pulled within a single point of Texas after trailing by 14 points at the end of the first quarter. So the second period belonged to the Tigers from Auburn. And here at halftime, the score is Texas 14, Auburn 13.
The world watches Scott.
Kick the ball on there, or rather Ward. He does again. One of the upbacks takes it down here. Here comes back for Auburn. And the run back by Walker is up around the 35-yard line. So that's pretty good field position for Auburn. They get it out of that deep hole. That time they're able to field that short bounding kickoff. So Pat Dye's Tigers down by just 1 point. Come out with Pat Washington, number 10 at quarterback. Tommy Agee, a key man in the first half, will be at fullback. Kyle Collins will be at 1 halfback, and Bo Jackson, number 34, will start the other. Wasn't much of a factor in the first half, and a couple of little gains, but not a lot. Trey Gaines, a wide receiver, is out to the right side. First play of the second half for Auburn. Gives it to the fullback, Agee, and Agee on a slant, just pure power. Motors up to about the 39-yard line, stopped by Tony Griffin. Defensively, Texas plays a 4-3 defense. There's the War Eagle, and he's perked up a lot. There's the Texas defense. Tony DeGreat, the All-American, at 1 tackle, number 99. Ralph Darnell at the other. The ends are Blake Brawner and James McKinney. Linebackers list a good core. Allert, Edwards, and James. 2nd and 6 for Auburn. Pitch it back to Bo Jackson. The All-American comes up to the 43, and it was Brawner, the right end, that brought him down. Looked like Auburn thought they could pick on Brawner and running his in the first half.
I think they did. They wanted to kind of stay away from Tony DeGreat, who is their All-American defensive tackle, 6.
Kick the ball on there, or rather Ward. He does again. One of the upbacks takes it down here. Here comes back for Auburn, and the is up around the 35-yard line, so that's pretty good field position for Auburn. They get it out of that deep hole. That time they're able to field that short bounding kickoff. So Pat Dye's Tigers down by just 1 point. Come out with Pat Washington, number 10 at quarterback. Tommy Agee, a key man in the first half, will be at fullback. Kyle Collins will be at 1 halfback, and Bo Jackson, number 34, will start the other. Wasn't much of a factor in the first half, and a couple of little gains, but not a lot. Trey Gaines, a wide receiver, is out to the right side. First play of the second half for Auburn. Gives it to the fullback, Agee, and Agee on a slant, just pure power. Motors up to about the 39-yard line, stopped by Tony Griffin. Defensively, Texas plays a 4-3 defense. There's the War Eagle, and he's perked up a lot. There's the Texas defense. Tony DeGreat, the All-American, at 1 tackle, number 99. Ralph Darnell at the other. The ends are Blake Brawner and James McKinney. Linebackers list a good core. Allert, Edwards, and James. 2nd and 6 for Auburn. Pitch it back to Bo Jackson. The All-American comes up to the 43, and it was Brawner, the right end, that brought him down. Looked like Auburn thought they could pick on Brawner and running his in the first half.
I think they did. They wanted to kind of stay away from Tony DeGreat, who is their All-American defensive tackle, 6'4", 280. I guess I'd like to stay away from myself.
There would be a big play for Auburn. It's 3rd down, about 2 from the 43. They don't pick it up here. They have to punt into this wind. That was a big factor in the first half of the ball game. And they pitch it back, and there's Collins. I don't think he's going to get it. He is really hit as he crosses the 45. Depends on where they spot this ball. That was Stephen Bragg, the strong safety, who closed in that time on Kyle Collins and hit him with a jarring tackle, and he did make it. It's a 1st down for Auburn. So he picked up a valuable 3 yards there, did Kyle Collins. And Auburn tries to get things started right there. There he is, number 23. Played in junior college at Jacksonville Junior College. Clayton Buford comes in the game now for Auburn, replacing Trey Gaines at the split end. Fakes before I hear they pitch it back, and they're going to be fooled at all. Trap back there is Buford, and he's tying the end around, pulling for a big loss. Back on the 35 by Stephen Bragg and James McKinney.
James McKinney was not fooled at all. James McKinney played the defensive end, the left defensive end, like you're supposed to play the left defensive end, number 87. He just waited for Buford to come out, back to the outside. He stayed there, and also Bragg was there. No place to go.
You know, Paul, Buford was the 6th leading rusher last year for Auburn, just on that play. Ran it 4 times for 82 yards. He once was a backup quarterback, and he could throw a pass off that same play action. 2nd down and 21 for Auburn, back at the 35. Now Washington fires it over. Blocked down nicely. That was intended over here by Wagan, the freshman. That was broken up by James Lott, number 9. That'll bring up 3rd down and 20 at the 35. Now Auburn's facing the bugaboo of this having to kick in the wind. They don't pick up a long play here.
Not much of deception, was there? You got one guy, Wagan, going downfield. You got 10 men standing along the line of scrimmage. and they throw the only man that's out. They had two people there. Actually, James Lott was on Weygand all by himself. Look at here, we've got Bo Jackson split way out.
Yeah, they got Weygand, Gaines both in there, and Jackson wide. And here comes Washington. Looks right, fires back to his left, and he throws it wild, incomplete, intended for Gaines. James Lott was over there, but Trey Gaines had no chance for that ball that was thrown behind him. And now Auburn must punt into the wind.
I think this ball might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, or either that or it was slipped out of his hand. And McGinnis, was he the one that hit? No, it wasn't. It just slipped out of his hand. Pat Washington never had control of the ball when he threw it.
Lewis Colbert averaged 40.9 last year. Had a 60-yarder against Maryland. He won't get that here. He's kicking right in the teeth of this wind here in Austin, Texas. There's the kick high in the air. Wind grabs it, bringing it straight down around the 40, and it takes an Auburn bounce over the 35, then bounces back to the 35 and down right there. So Texas gets the ball with a score. Texas 14. Wait a minute. Penalty flag is down.
This is Chevrolet.
College Football 84 on ESPN is brought to you by Chevrolet. With the technology, the performance, the style, the innovation, the quality and value that make up today's Chevrolet. Out here in Austin, Texas. Great shots here from a Goodyear blimp. 1 point lead by Texas. Texas now is going to get the ball for the first time in the second half. Longhorns just had a 5-yard penalty marked off of a chop block.
Jim, it's very, very interesting. Now, Freddie Akers talking. He said, "No, wait a minute. My guys don't chop block." So he's talking over the official. But let me explain. Here's what Auburn has. Auburn must stop Texas here. They've got to remember the first quarter. Texas got the ball in excellent field position on 2 bad punts and marched down and scored right away. 2 touchdowns. All right. Here, we'll pick up not only the Auburn defense, but also the Auburn offense. If they can hold Texas here and get the ball back in decent field position.
That wasn't too bad a punt that time. Puts Texas with the penalty back to the 25. And now in is Todd Dodge. Had a good first half. 2 wide receivers out. And he gets the first man through. Jerome Johnson, the fullback, tries to break one up the middle. And he gets a short gain. Maybe around the 28. Ben Thomas, all-star candidate tackle for Auburn, makes the stop.
Gene Chilton, number 74. Gene the Cook Machine. Take a look at Gene. Now he's blocking on the nose tackle, Hallman, and he sees Hallman's taken out, so he just moves off on McCurdy, number 52, and just drives McCurdy downfield.
Well, you think he is an All-American timber? Gene Chilton. Now here's a rollout by Dodge. Dodge fires it, and it is intercepted back here by Caesar, I believe. And a penalty flag goes down. Could be interference.
It'll be interference because Caesar went through the ball carrier, knocked the pass receiver, knocked him down, and then caught the ball.
I think it was William Harris, the tight end, who was on a crossing pattern. Caesar was trading him. There's the signal. That's against Auburn. Now watch Caesar.
All right, first here comes William Harris off the line. And the coverage is there. You see Carr, number 54, trying to get in front. Now watch what Caesar does. He goes through the man, bumps him right there. That's pass interference. Makes the catch.
Defense, decline, first down.
Wait a minute, you can't decline it. The defense caught the ball.
I don't understand that call.
95, I thought Caesar had the ball. That's my fault. Can you believe that? Harris caught the football.
Bounce right back to Harris. They take the play. And it's a gain up to the 42-yard line. Oh, they pick up, pass interference. It would have gotten 15 yards on the play. They got to take the pass play, which gives them about 12 or 13. It'll still be a first down for Texas on the 42-yard line. New rule this year. Used to, you got the penalty right in the spot of the foul. I think Texas might have got a little mixed up there. They could have had 15 yards in the line of scrimmage. Or I guess it is the spot of the foul or 15. Jerome Johnson heading straight ahead for Texas. Stacked up in the middle of the line. Greg Carr was in on that play. Great All-American linebacker for Auburn. There's a good look. Todd Dodge has shown himself well here. Had a back injury playing tennis over the summer. Had to recover from that. Proved that the old saying that he can't run is a little fiction. He ran it in for a touchdown back in the first quarter.
Now we saw some unbalanced line in the first quarter of the game. We have not seen it so far here in the second half.
Bill Boy Bryant's in there as a double wide receiver. It's a deep hand off the tailback Robinson, and boy, is he cracked behind the line of scrimmage by Auburn. Auburn was really aroused that time. And they went in there to smack down Robinson. Harold Holman and Ben Thomas just ran over people. Watch them to get to the ball carrier.
Is that Gerald Robinson, too, number 95, coming in there? It certainly is. Watch this. He hits a fullback, Johnson, and then also hits Robinson. And he had some help in the backfield by Holman. They just went at the runners and forgot about any kind of bootleg pass.
They lose back almost what they gained on the previous play. It's 3rd down and close to 10 yards to go. Terry Orr now goes in the backfield for Texas. Also in there is Kelvin Nelson as Freddie Akers shaking up his backfield lineup.
Delay a game.
And here's going to be a call against Texas. That'll cost them another 5 yards. That's a big 3rd down play, and here they've had the wind at their back in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and Texas got to come up with a big play here to keep possession.
Dead ball, delay, offense, 3rd down.
You have 25 seconds to snap the ball once it's put in play. At that time, Texas couldn't get it off in time. Oh, now it's an even bigger 3rd down play. 3rd and 14 back at the 37. Actually, they got to go almost 15 yards. Bill Boy Bryant comes out of there. Kevin Epps goes back in. Epps is the big home run player for Texas. He can fly. He's over the left side, top of your screen. Here he comes in motion. Play action. Pressure is put on him. Here's a pass. Drill down. It's caught down there by Nelson for a 1st down. Kevin Nelson came out of the backfield. And with the heat on Dodge, he stood in there coolly and drilled it for 1st down. A big play.
Gerald Robinson was about a half a step getting to Todd Dodge. You see 95. He just goes right by the offensive tackle, which is Greg Wright. Bang, there goes.
Ooh.
He'll take that if he gets the 1st down, which he did get. Here it comes. Watch his shot. Bang. Then Nelson, what the pass is. Nelson had the weight on it. But number 4, Briggs, didn't play the back coming out of the backfield.
Now here's Dodge rolling again, drills it, and it's caught again around the 32-yard line. Another great completion for Texas. Nat season they're covering the tight end William Harris in a crossing pattern. And now Dodge is mixing up his receivers, and he is going to the air. And I think we're going to see a lot of passing coming up here. Dodge was shaken up. Rob Morshell has come on the field for Texas, but I think he's in as a running back. Freddie Akers talking with Dodge. Looked like Dodge shaken up a little bit on that last play, but he's going to stay in there.
He's got rib pads on, Todd Dodge has, but he was holding his ribs. That shot he took from Robinson, number 95, on the play before last, I think it hurt him.
1st down play, Texas. Now the Auburn 32. Here's Dodge going for the deep and down the middle, and he's got it for touchdown to Duhan. Deep post pattern to Brent Duhan, his first call tonight, and boy, did he make it count.
Brent Duhan did make it count, but you've got to give the credit to Todd Dodge. Where he put this ball, there was no chance for Caesar, number 49, to intercept the football. This was a perfect pass. Had that ball been just a little bit behind, look at Freddie Akers, he's smiling. If that would have been just a little bit off target, it might have been picked off.
And to try for the point now, Jeff Ward. He's hit 33 in a row. That's 34 out of 34, and the score now, Texas 21, Auburn 13. Todd Dodge having an outstanding opening game in 1984 for Texas. And Paul, here's a great throw.
All right, let's just take a look at it. He goes back and he fakes play action, but watch, he follows through beautifully. Watch where the ball is thrown. You see Nat Caesar 49 was right there, but the ball was laid out for Duhan. Had to make the catch. If you drop that one, that's when you leave the uniform and just keep right on going.
And you know, that combination goes back all the way through high school days at Port Arthur, Texas, where these same 2 players teamed up and passed for over 3,000 yards as high school teammates. Now here's the kickoff, sailing kick, and back is forward about a yard inside his end zone. Comes out to 15, looking for a block, 20, and pull down the 25 from behind. January make the stop here for Texas. Let's take another look at that scoring pass.
Watch Dodge now. He's going to set up. Gets his body square up now. He follows through. Just a beautiful pass. He's backing out of there. He knows. Look, he knows. Look at here. That's right. We did this before.
6 more for Texas. He hit his old high school teammate, Brett Duhan, and it was a beautiful deep post pattern for 6. And there's the scoring drive, 7 plays, 75 yards, just 3 minutes. Texas made the win pay off again. Fullwood, Jesse, and Age in the backfield. They pitch it off here to Jesse. And tries the left side, not too much success. He is rocked with a crunching tackle by Ty Allard, and Jerry Gray was closing in fast. Penalty flag dropped on the play.
Well, on the top side, Steve Wallace, number 78, and number 63, Floyd, were blocking on one of the defensive linemen, and I couldn't see who it was, and they buried him, and the defensive lineman kicked Wallace in the head.
That's going to cost him 15 yards.
I think so.
Personal foul up to the 44. That'll give Auburn a first down. Gets them out of a deep hole here with the wind factor, a big thing.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense.
That was Heath
First
Cochran,
down.
the man that they blocked, I believe.
Well, Fred Akers got to be pleased with his quarterback performance tonight from Todd Dodge. He's just been outstanding. Texas leads 21-13. Hollis Campbell now is coming at fullback for Auburn. Pat Dye using a lot of players. There's a gift to Campbell on a slant out of the first option in the wishbone. Picks up a couple of yards, tough yards, before Tony DeGreat was there to slam him down. Pat Dye, who played for one of the greats, Wally Butts, and then coached under one of the greats, Bear Bryant, on his way up the coaching ladder. Stops at East Carolina and Wyoming. Looks like he's found a home at Auburn. I'm sure the Auburn fans hope so. 2nd and 8 for Auburn at the 46. It's a straight dive play up the middle that time by Jesse. And he's tripped up around the 50-yard line. Tony Edwards and Tony DeGreat. A couple of pretty good Tonys there teaming up. Ball right at midfield to make it 3rd and 4.
Well, you got, two good Tonys. A middle linebacker weighing 260. That's Edwards, and Tony DeGreat weighing 280.
Yeah, they don't grow any small ones down here in Texas, that's for sure. 3rd down and 6 for Auburn. They're trailing by 8. They give it a fullback again, and DeGreat is right there to stop him. Hollis Campbell, Reggie Rare that time it was, who's alternating in there with Age and Campbell. Allard smelled that play out.
Tony DeGreat, that's Stokes that misses him. Tony DeGreat just went right by Stokes. Stokes dropped his head. Number 64, DeGreat went to the inside. He was in the quarterback's face and in the halfback's face before they even got the ball.
Driving back for Texas, Calvin Epps. Lewis Colbert is in to punt. He'll punt it from about his own 39 or 40-yard line. Good snap. And a kick high up against the wind. Fair catch called for, but the up back takes on the 25-yard line. That's where Texas will take over, and they lead 21-13. Some happy fans from the Lone Star State giving the old hook 'em horn sign as the Longhorns lead 21-13. Big intersectional battle here against Auburn. Texas has been set further back in a hole. Penalty for clipping was tacked on the run back. They're back at their 13, 1st and 10. Johnston fullback, Moorshell now the tailback. They give it to Rob Moorshell. Tries to find a hole the left side. Nothing doing. Driven back by Greg Carr. Auburn's All-American linebacker from Birmingham.
Moorshell, he's all right. He's got a deep bruise in his back. But, you know, the reason that they moved Moorshell, of course, they had a tailback problem. But as a quarterback, when he played, he ran so well with the ball. They figured, why not? We'll use him at tailback.
Might mention that Edwin Simmons, who's being compared by many down here to Earl Campbell, is awesome. Recovering. Boy, he is awesome looking. He's running now. Be back in a couple of weeks, he thinks. There's a rollout by Dodge. Drills it downfield. Had a man open, threw it too short. Incomplete. Intended for Bill Boy Bryant at the 27-yard line. Ran a little hook pattern down there trying to get the first down. Good pressure by Ben McCurdy.
You see Todd Dodge there. He knew he had Bill Boy Bryant wide open. He just threw the ball into the dirt. Come back with it. Come on back with it. Say, can I do that one again? What do you think, Coach?
You know, Dodge had some bruised ribs, too, from practice earlier this year, and had to fight right down to the wire to beat out Danny Akers and Brett Stafford and Rob Moorshell for the starting quarterback spot. Moorshell thought he had a good chance to get it. He started 9 games last year, but Dodge beat him out with his passing, so they moved Moorshell to tailback, and that's where he is. And here he is, Moorshell on the sweep. Left side with the power. It isn't there. It doesn't get enough of an escort, and he's taken down on the 17-yard line by Gerald Williams and John Daly. So Auburn brings up a punting situation for Texas. Now the Longhorns will be kicking with the wind. John Telchik comes in. He's an outstanding punter for Texas.
He can flat kick a ball about 70 yards. Tilchik, he's got a great leg, barefoot kicker. Buford back there.
Gaines. Buford is also back for Auburn. Good snap for Telchik. And Telchik hits a beauty. Oh, boy, way back. Back is Gaines, lets it go over his head, hits to the 25-yard line, and it'll be down on the 26. Boy, that is some punt. He punted that ball about over 50 yards.
John Telchik, first team All-American this year, maybe second team last year. Here's a barefooted kicker. Now watch, you got to keep your toes down when you punt anyway, with or without the shoe. Now watch his toes, his head's down, and his toe's going to be down. Drops the ball flat, and he flat hits it. Look at that leg extension. That's beautiful.
And there's the beautiful state capitol for the state of Texas here in Austin. Wow, what magnificent structure. As you're watching action here, Auburn takes over 1st and 10 back at its own 27. Give it up again the middle to the fullback. Now the wishbone, Tommy Agee gets a very short gain. Neither team has given up much up the middle tonight. Neither Texas nor Auburn. Both teams have had to go to the air to get anything substantial going or try to get outside. Bo Jackson so far has not been able to shake loose, but Jackson is playing with very little practice. He's had no contact because of a bad ankle since the Miami game. Washington off on the side. The man didn't see it. Nobody was there. He was throwing in the direction of Freddie Wagan, who was trying to block Eric Jeffries.
Wagan, it must have been a checkoff. Wagan, look at, you can see Pat Washington. He's looking at Wagan. Look at, when I call a pass pattern, I want you to run a pass pattern. I want you going downfield.
5 minutes. Watch it again here.
Ty Allard, number 48. Here, they're going to block him low. Forget that. And then Agee hits him high. He's there. He's in the face of Washington. But again, Washington threw the ball out here to Wagan, and Wagan was downfield blocking.
Now it's 3rd down for Auburn back at their 28-yard line. They need a big play here. They'll be going against the wind. Sideline pattern is caught over there by Bo Jackson. Jackson, a dangerous man, comes over the 45, gets the first down before Jerry Gray can get to him. That time they used Jackson as another kind of a weapon.
I can see where Pat Washington is going to be a good quarterback because watch, the pressure is on. He goes back to pass, no play action. Agee's back there blocking, but watch, he just sits flat-footed. He sees Bo Jackson on the outside, and when you get this man the ball, look out. They're in a lot of trouble. That's Bragg's number 6 in there making a tackle, along with number 2, Jerry Gray.
Well, it's a clutch first down for Auburn. They move it up to their 49, 1st and 10, trailing by 8 points. Washington fakes his fullback. Play action pass. Going for the home run. And down is Wagan. The Speedster's got it inside the 10. 1st and goal for Auburn. Freddie Wagan, just a freshman from Gadsden, Alabama. But he used his speed to get in the open. And a beautifully thrown ball.
Freddie Wagan outruns this football. That's why he makes the catch. Now watch, Washington played everything he had into the ball. It's against the wind. But watch Wagan. He gets in a tough catch over the shoulder. He had to make the catch. It was just beautiful. Tony Griffin, number 16, trying to stay with him. Again, Wagan ran after the ball and caught up with the football.
All right, Agee, Collins, and Jackson now on the wishbone. Auburn will try to punch it in here and get back. 2-point point. If they score, we'll get them even. Here goes Bo Jackson, touchdown. Bo Jackson, there's the artistry of the master. Heisman Trophy candidate. Once he smells pay dirt, great block by Steve Wallace, opened the hole, and he plunges in, and now Auburn has a chance with a 2-pointer to pull even.
All right, you see Bo Jackson running, but now let's take a look at some of the blocking in there. There's Collins and there's also Agee. They get the blocks down up in the line of scrimmage, and you give Bo Jackson that hole. Goodbye. That was Tony Edwards, the middle linebacker, number 63, making a tackle, but that was 8 yards deep.
Auburn likes to get 3 wide receivers in here and then roll out with a little action here to try and go for 2 points. Obviously going to try that here. They need 2 to tie the game. It's 21-19 Texas. Boy, talk about action in September. Well, this is like a championship game. There are the 3 wide receivers to the right. Washington coming back up the middle of fullback. Agee cannot make it. Texas stopped him short, and Texas will retain the lead. It is Texas 21 and Auburn 19. We'll be right back.
Reverend Dr. Mann, you seek that putt, and I'll join your church.
At River Bend, we'll take them any way we can get them.
Bank First is building an organization especially for you. Bank First is big enough to handle your needs and small enough for personal.
Well, there's Smokey the Cannon, but this time it was Auburn scoring, although Texas stopped the two-point try. First time, Paul, that somebody scored against the Wind with a march tonight.
Yeah, isn't it strange? Is that kind of an omen in the game?
Well, it possibly could be. Auburn is pulled within 2 points. Now the kickoff for Auburn. Epps is waiting back down here. Also here's Tony Tillman. He's got the ball over the 20, down on the 23. Well, it's a big stop by the Texas defense. They got Agee short of getting in the end zone to tie the score.
But here's the touchdown, though. This is the one where you got Bo Jackson coming in. Just a little flip back to Bo. There's his blockers out in front. Agee's 30. He gets an excellent block downfield on number 1 Jeffries, and there goes Bo Jackson in. Now Bo Jackson has carried 10 times for 43 yards. Remember last year he only carried 7 times for 35 yards.
You don't stop him with arm tackles. There was a good example. Texas lead's been cut to 2, and they give it on a quick handoff to Terry Orr, the fullback, trying to find some running room. Runs right into John Daly of Auburn, and he's taken down as he crosses the 25. Might have made the 27. Well, the Goodyear Blimp America from Houston, Texas, floating overhead here tonight with Captain Pilot Jim Dexter from Baltimore, Maryland, giving us that kind of coverage. And what a beautiful night it is here in the capital city of Austin, Texas.
I think Texas might just forget about trying to run that ball up the middle and start working to the outside by throwing it.
They got Billboy Bryant to the left, and here's Dodge rolling. Dodge going deep for Billboy Bryant. Over his shoulder, out of bounds. Trying to hit the home run, but that time Kevin Porter was back there with him.
Where you go almost made that catch. That ball was thrown so far out of bounds.
That was really over. Kevin Green was coming in trying to put some pressure on Dodge. Texas quarterback tonight here has been rolling out a lot, trying to get away from the Auburn rush, and he's had a pretty good evening. But the big play a moment ago was by Pat Washington. Hit the long bomb downfield to set up a touchdown by Jackson.
All right, and Texas has been so effective with the short intermediate route, something we talked about that they should do, and don't be surprised to see him doing now. And look for that big tight end, William Harris.
Terry Orr now running the only setback. 3 wide receivers are in there for Texas, and here's Dodge dumping it off to Orr. Release man, it doesn't fool Auburn that much. He stopped way short of a first down, short of the 30. And out of bounds around the 28-yard line will bring up 4th down in a punting situation for Texas. And time's running along here in the 3rd quarter. Just 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining for Texas to have the wind at its back. And then Auburn will go in the 4th quarter with the win, and right now trailing by just 2 points.
Gaines and Buford are back, Jim, and about the way that Telchik kicks the ball, you should get back around a 10 and maybe come up to it. Oh, wait a minute.
There's Telchik off the side of his foot. This one maybe a fair catch called for by Gaines. And he takes it down right there inside the 25-yard line. So Trey Gaines feels the punt. There's the scores. Boy, things are really tightening up in that American League West. Minnesota leading Texas by 1 run in the 3rd inning. California pulled within a half game of Kansas City, Minnesota this afternoon with that 11-2 victory over the White Sox. Later tonight, Kansas City playing out at Seattle. That's the one real exciting race going on in baseball. Forward, Agee and Jackson, the backfield. Auburn back to the wishbone from their own 24. They give it to Bo Jackson. Jackson runs into a big stack of orange-shirted defenders led by Jim Moore as he tried the left tackle.
Also there, number 97, Aldridge, made a nice play from that defensive end.
As this game goes along, it becomes more and more clear, Paul, that neither one of these teams are going to be able to set up and run over the other one.
Well, one of the things that Auburn needs to do in this drive right here is to try to get at least one first down so they can get the clock run down and get them into the fourth quarter with the win.
2nd and 10. There's a counter play. Bo Jackson getting some room at the 30. Look out. He can fly. Bo Jackson after Miss Gray. And it is, I know he may not catch him. Yes, Gray from behind the 25-yard line of Texas. Bo Jackson in a foot race with Jerry Gray, 2 All-Americans.
Bo Jackson slips in the backfield. He runs into Washington, but when Bo Jackson gets into the open field, good luck. This is one of the reasons why they want Gray on the ground. Watch Bo. He runs right into his quarterback. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. Well, now the hole's there. He's going to break back. Now watch Gray. Jerry Gray, number 2, an All-American, chasing another All-American. Jerry Gray does not give up. Had they had Jerry Gray on the ground, Bo Jackson would have scored.
No question about it. But now Auburn back threatening. 1st and 10 at the 23 of Texas. And to the right side goes Fullwood. And Brent Fullwood runs into a stone wall over there with Ty Allard. Strong side linebacker number 48, the first man to him. Jackson getting a breather. 21-19. Texas leading by 2 points. Auburn already moving close to field goal range.
Well, take a look at this. Watch when you see Bo Jackson, watch what he does when he gets in the open field. Now he sees nothing but Green and Jerry Gray. Forget the guys behind. They have no chance whatsoever. But look at Gray. That's determination. The man catches him.
Boy, 2 great All-Americans. Here goes Fullwood, trying the middle. Spun down around the 20-yard line by Tony Edwards, the Texas middle linebacker. Now we have less than 2 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Auburn within 2 points of Texas, and the big 4th quarter coming up will have the wind at its back.
I'm so glad Bo had that minor surgery and that weak ankle. He had to play hurt all the time.
3rd down and 7 here for Auburn. Field goal try would be over 35 yards. It gets the win if they have to try it here. And they give it to A.J. and he is stacked up around the 18. If they go for the field goal, it's going to be around 35 yards against the wind. Tony DeGrade and Tony Edwards there to make the stop. I think McGinney's got enough leg here, even with the win. This could give Auburn the lead. Well, some concern on the countenance right there, Fred Akers, and for good reason. Right now, Auburn looks like it's gaining some momentum. They've scored once against the win here in the 3rd quarter. Now they'll try a 35-yard field goal.
And remember, the holder is the backup quarterback man.
McGinney in the try. But the kick is low and partially blocked. And Texas will get the ball with 47 seconds to go. It was Torres who came through for Texas to block that attempted try for the extra point. We'll chalk it up to Ray Torres, a senior from McAllen, Texas. What?
Jim, this ball would have never made it anyway because it never got off the ground. Just take a look at it. Here they come. The ball is down. Look at how low the ball is. The ball never got down. It was being hooked way to the left. The ball would have never made it. Excellent play by Texas. Torres, he's happy.
Texas gets the ball back out at the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, 47 seconds to go. And then Texas will have to go into the wind. And Auburn will have the wind at its back. Epps in motion. Has a fake to Epps. And here's Dodge down the middle. And he's hit Duhan for 1st down. Near the 40-yard line of Texas with 40 seconds to go in the quarter. Vic Beasley really put some shoulder pads that time on Duhan. Watch.
Duhan was going to try and roll out. It's a fake to Epps coming around. But watch what happens now. You see Beasley, he doesn't even look at the football. He is looking at Duhan because he knows he can't get to the ball. The next thing is to make sure he can't catch it. He just drills him right in the ribs with his helmet.
1st down, Texas at the 37. Dodge goes back to the air again. Stays in the pocket. Going for the home run to Duhan. Maybe intercepted. No, it's off the fingertips down there of Vic Beasley. Incomplete pass. Briggs was also back. Alvin Briggs, double coverage. Dodd just threw it up for grabs and it went incomplete.
I don't blame him because Hallman almost killed him. Watch this. 94 is going to put his lights out right about now. Think.
Ooh,
right in the face. He gets his shot. Falls out. But take a look at it. Beasley almost had a shot. Duhan had no shot at all. And he was covered very well by Briggs, number 4.
Well, Texas is trying to do all it can to make these final seconds with the wind at its back count. Twice they've gone on long passes. Now it's 2nd and 10 at the 37. They've hit 1 out of 2. There you saw the log of Dodge tonight. He's had a good night.
We've got the new receiver in here, Hayes, number 14.
Dodge scrambling, throws up the middle. There's a man there. There's caught. Tight end Harris down at the Auburn 42. 9 seconds to go in the quarter. Beasley on the stop.
I would tell you right now, Todd Dodge, it will not be out of bed tomorrow till around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because Holman again, watch this. Goodbye, Dodge. Holman, hello. But what a great pass play to William Harris. William Harris makes a great catch. Vic Beasley, number 31, goes after the interception instead of going through the receiver. But William Harris concentrated on the ball. Is that Todd Dodge down?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah, Dodge was shaken up on that last play. He's going to have to come out of there.
He just said, you know, someone blocked 94 because Holman is about to kill me. And the worst part about it, not only does he hit him, but he falls on top of him. Look at Todd. He's hurt. He did have sore ribs.
Oh, they're really teeing off on Dodge. He had bruised ribs in practice. He had an injured back from an old tennis injury. Now it could be the coach's son, Danny Akers, or it could be a freshman, Brett Stafford. No, it's going to be Dodge. He's going to stay in there. Texas called timeout so they could keep him in the game. 21-19 Texas. 9 seconds to go. They'll get off one more play here using the wind in the 3rd quarter.
Well, we talked about Texas. To beat Auburn, you must throw the football. Miami beat Auburn by throwing the football. Texas is doing the same thing by throwing the football.
There's Pat Dye. Wasn't pleased at all with his performance against Miami. Upset last year because his team was passed over when he was number 3, and the 1st and 2nd ranked teams were upset on New Year's Day. He thought he should have been the national champion. Didn't turn out that way. Here's our schedule coming up here on ESPN in September. North Carolina versus Boston College and Doug Flutie. That'll be next Saturday night from Foxborough. Then 2 weeks from tonight on the 29th, Navy with the great Napoleon McCallum travels to Little Rock to take on Arkansas. So that's the football coming up for the rest of September. College Football Association action. Exciting action on ESPN.
How about Navy beating North Carolina today in North Carolina?
That was at Chapel Hill, and high-scoring game. It was a 33-30. McCallum had over 100 yards. Ethan Horton had almost 100 yards for North Carolina, scored a touchdown. Here's a halftime score. Arkansas has come back to tie Ole Miss 14-14. Well, Ken Hatfield's team showing some life. LSU unloading tonight on Wichita in the 2nd quarter, leading 23-0. And Arizona 20-zip over Oregon State. That's still in the 1st quarter. Big play for Texas. And here's Dodge setting up. Dodge going for the deep one. He's got Duhan there. Incomplete. Oh, boy, that was close to another touchdown. Duhan thought he was hit. David King, the king in his court, went back that time on Duhan, and David King got a hand on the ball.
David King misplayed the ball. He went for the interception, and that ball went over his shoulders into Duhan's hand. Take a look at it. David King had his hand in Duhan's face, but you're going to see at the end of this play, he sees his favorite receiver. Now watch, King's going to move in to make the interception, but look at this ball. Goes right off the shoulder of Duhan. He misplayed it. Got away with it.
Well, that old Port Arthur connection trying to connect one more play. They've got time. 2 seconds to go. 2nd and 10. Here's Dodge going to go the air. Last time he'll have the win. Going the long with the Duhan. He's there. And it is incomplete. Duhan slipped and fell.
No, everybody's booing because they think it's pass interference, but that's incidental contact with King and Duhan again.
Well, twice he went to his old high school teammate.
Watch this here now. Just watch the feet of Duhan. Watch the feet. It's incidental contact because King is just looking. He's stepping over. That's not pass interference, folks.
All right, the score. Texas 21, Auburn 19 in the quarter 3.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
This flight doesn't get scrubbed for bad weather. A high-performance fighter has the technology to handle it. So does this. The all-weather.
You think these young men may be just slightly for Texas in this game?
Well, in a little bit, when they get a little older, they'll give them the rest of the helmet. They just gave them the face mask now.
Texas leads by a slim 2 points heading into the 4th quarter. 3rd and 10 for Texas at the Auburn 42. There's a little flare pass. Out in the pocket. It was caught out here by Nelson, and Nelson stopped short of a first down inside the 40. Tommy Powell, a strong safety, got in to make that stop for Auburn.
All right, Nelson, number 32's come out, and he's also going to have 37 Orr in front of him. This is a little slip screen to the outside. They didn't figure the linebackers would be covering it. Number 4, Briggs, is going to come up. He gets blocked, but he takes on the blockers. And when that happens, that allows the defensive lineman, and that's Holman, coming across from his nose tackle to make the play.
And here's some Auburn fans that come up from Alabama that cheer for the Tigers, who very much in this game, they're trailing by just 2 points and a whole fourth quarter to go. Texas will have to punt now, and is John Telchik. He was very adept last year at pinning teams inside their 20-yard line. Let's see what happens here. Telchik averaged over 43 yards a kick. He was 6th in the NCAA a year ago.
Well, total yardage after 3 quarters, Texas 272, Auburn 294, and they trail by 2. Auburn trails. They're going to penalize. This is the reason they went delay a game. It doesn't hurt the punter, Jim.
Good ball. Delay of game.
Because now he's got more room to work with.
So he might have wanted that extra 5 yards.
Oh, yeah.
John Telchik, junior from Kerrville, Texas. He'll try to pin Auburn back there as deep as he can.
He hit it in the end zone. He'd hit it too good.
Hangs it up there and right in the end zone for the touchback. And Auburn will take over from the 20. They'll be 80 yards away, but now Auburn will have the win. Will it score Texas 21, Auburn 19.
This is today's Chevrolet.
This Celebrity Eurosport has.
Oh, what a beautiful sight we have here in Austin, Texas. Texas fans moving it up for the Longhorns. Auburn fans have come up here, not as in big numbers, but they feel now their team has got some momentum going in the fourth quarter. Here's the fumble. Texas has got it at the 16-yard line. Brett Fullwood fumbled, and Jim Moore, number 75, pounced on it for the Longhorns. Tremendous break. Only the second turnover of the game, the first one in favor of Texas.
Oh, it's beautiful. Texas waiting. They're a patient team. They play strong defense, and they wait for the breaks. Breaks give them the game. But on this play, Fullwood, I don't know if he's supposed to get the ball or not, because Pat Washington, is he going to go down the line? Because look at the ball is gone. Fullwood, yeah, the way Washington looked, I think maybe he was supposed to give the ball to Fullwood. Fullwood didn't take it.
Paul, I think it's the same counter play Bo Jackson ran for the big game.
You're right.
Now big break for Texas. Let's see if they can cash in. 1st and 10 at the Auburn 17-yard line. Dodge pitches it back. Here's Nelson on a sweep. Cuts inside, goes to the 10-yard line. Kevin Nelson, a freshman, exciting open field runner. All the way down to the 10. Ben McCurdy, great block by William Harris, sprung him loose. McCurdy finally hauled him down. It's a pickup on the play at 7 yards, 2nd down and 3. Big break for Freddie Akers' team. Their lead was down to 2 points, and they have the handicap of the win here in the fourth quarter. Nothing bounces crazy like a football, though, and the Longhorns have pounced on the fumble. 2nd and 3. They give it the fullback. Middle goes Johnson. Johnson will score. Touchdown. Might have been a little short trap or just a quick hitter. But Jerome Johnson found the hole, Paul McGuire.
Yes, he did. And Jerome Johnson was supposed to carry that ball between the tackle and the end. It was a little dive play, but what he did when he got to the line of scrimmage, he was hit, and he saw that opening back to his right, so he just broke it back to the inside. A beautiful play by Texas.
Now Jeff Ward comes in. He'll be trying for his 4th point tonight. He's hit 34 in a row. Hasn't missed yet. And there's another one. There goes Smokey the Cannon. 28-19. Texas in the lead.
Now what's the action? The action is to the right of the screen. See, it's supposed to be blocked this way to the inside. Well, Gene Chilton, number 74, the center, got a tremendous block, and when Johnson saw that hole break back to his right, he just cut it back for the touchdown.
Jerome Johnson didn't get his starting call till the last minute. The score now, Texas 28, Auburn 19.
Well, goodbye, good old Head and Shoulders. Got to use new, improved Head and Shoulders. Come on, what makes this better than this?
Controls.
Real estate companies. ERA Real Estate, a part of the Commercial Credit Financial Network. Thursday, catch a top-ranked title fight live. Harold Petty meets Greg Richardson for the NABF featherweight crown. See it live Thursday on ESPN.
Jerome Johnson being congratulated by his teammates down there for that nifty little touchdown run that's put Texas now up by 9 points, 28-19. And there's Smokey the Cannon. They fired 12-gauge shotgun blanks in this, saluting every Texas score. Here to kick off is Jeff Ward. Deep, Ed Graham and Brett Fullwood for Auburn. Another bounding kick. Taken about the 21-yard line by Kyle Collins. Collins just goes straight up the field over the 30 to about the 32. We're going to show you one more view here of that touchdown run.
Again, a great block by Gene Chilton, number 74, but you're going to see Johnson just break it back to the inside. Yep, play was to the left. Johnson said, wait a minute, there's a hole in the right. I'm going home.
Well, that was Texas cashing in. They became a very opportunist team after gobbling up that Auburn fumble down the 17-yard and 16-yard line. Just took them 2 plays to score.
21 of their 28 points. 2 bad punts, great field position, then a turnover, touchdown.
Well, you don't leave doors open for Fred Akers' team, that's for sure. It's Bo Jackson trying the left side. Good, sure tackle over there around the ankles by Tony Edwards, a middle linebacker. Followed that play out. He keeps his eye on 34, but if you're going to play Auburn, you have to do that. You know, it's the same number Herschel Walker wore at Georgia, and it was inevitable they had to compare these two. And Bo's coming out pretty well in some comparisons.
Well, Bo Jackson is just outstanding. Well, you can't say enough. He does it all. He blocks, receives, everything.
They give it to the fullback, Tommy Agee. First man off the wishbone option. Tony Griffin can't get to him until he's up over the 40-yard line. He's going to be close to a first down. Boy, Agee's really the working man in this backfield. As Paul says, he takes a hit on every play because he either has the ball faked to him or given to him. And he's in there trying to block those linebackers.
And it's really nice to see when a fullback takes that beating for 60 minutes in a ball game, and they give him the ball once in a while, and he does well with it.
3rd and a yard. 2 tight ends are in for Auburn. They give it to Bo Jackson. He cuts back. He's hit, spins away, stays on his feet, gets the first down. Bo Jackson hit once, just spun around and went over the 45. James Lott, the thin man in the backfield for Texas, checked him with Blake Broner.
All right, well, you want to see pursuit. Watch this Texas defense now. They got to figure that 90% of the time Bo's going to carry the ball. Here comes Bo. He goes to the inside. He's hit right there at the line of scrimmage by Robinson. And he breaks it back. Excuse me, I'm sorry, not Robinson. Is that Tower?
Yep.
Browner?
Browner.
And then Bo Jackson keeps his feet and moves back to the outside, picks up the first down. His agility is incredible.
First down play. Oh, it's complete over here to Weigand. There was James Lott trying for the interception, and Weigand picked up the pass going out of bounds. Boy, if he'd have had 2 more yards of room, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, Weigand has got great speed. We saw him outrun the football and make the catch. Washington, look at the heat on Washington, but when you're going for the interception, like James Lott did right there, and you make a mistake, if there had been a little bit more room, Weigand would have been gone.
9-yard pickup, 2nd down and 1 for Auburn at the Texas 45. Here comes Auburn again. Washington over the middle. Got a man wide open, Parks the tight end. He may score. Parks inside the 10 and spilled at about the 5-yard line. That was Bragg. Somebody missed an assignment there because nobody around Parks. First, you got to think about the strong safety. Where was he?
Well, I think Parks was more surprised than anybody else. He was wide open. Now, here's a 2nd and 1. Good call. You're going back and take a look. And actually, Parks was not the primary target, but there's the ball. Parks said, wait a minute. There's absolutely nobody around me. Parks, if he looks to his right, he would have had a block by, who was it? Is that Jesse, number 25? Might have been able to score, but he was thinking maybe I can outrun the defensive secondary.
1st and goal, Auburn at the Texas 6-yard line. Tigers have come right back. They hand it off to Fullwood, tries the right side, and Texas pounds him back. Jerry Gray gets on the line of scrimmage. Tim Jesse was in there, but it was Fullwood carrying number 22. Trying to find a crease. Got it across the 5 and inside, picks up a couple of grudging yards, and Bo Jackson now comes back on the field for Auburn. Fullwood goes out.
He does come back on the field, Jim, but he is limping. Bo Jackson is definitely limping.
Well, Jackson sometimes is more effective being a little bit crippled than some other players. That's how great he is. Most valuable player of the Sugar Bowl last year. And we're going to get a timeout. Pat Washington wants to call a huddle here, and it's Texas 28, Auburn 19.
Some things look hard, but once you know the secret, they're easy.
It's easy.
Some people think financing a new car is hard, but it isn't. It's easy.
It's as easy as GMAC.
With GMAC, buying or leasing a new GM car or truck is easy. Ask your GM dealer and see how easy it is. Financing a new car may seem hard, but once you know the secret,
it's as easy as GMAC.
It's easy.
If you want to do work like an expert, it helps to have the mind of a craftsman. Sears Craftsman electronic power tools are so advanced, they practically think for themselves. Their microprocessor memories and electronic sensors give you more precision, more control, and the same quality that's made Craftsman bench power and hand tools America's best sellers.
There's more for your life at Sears.
Right after the game, stay with ESPN for the Chevrolet College Football Report. We'll bring you scores and highlights from around the nation next.
Plenty of time remaining in this game from Austin, Texas. Texas leading by 9 points, 28-19, but Auburn's knocking at the door. They're inside the Texas 4-yard line, second down and goal to go. And Bo Jackson, the All-American right halfback, is still back in the lineup. Fumble. Washington drops on it. Avoids another disastrous turnover, it would have been. A loss of a yard back to the 5. That'll be third down and goal for Auburn. Well, you hate to see mistakes like that. Coach does. Really costly.
Yeah, just take a look at this. That's Ben Tamarillo, the center, and it's the exchange. But the ball is knocked out of his hand by Jeff Lott, number 66, as he was coming through. The guard was going to pull and go into actually take a step back and follow the center into the hole and hit the ball out of the quarterback, Pat Washington's hand.
Third and goal for Auburn at the Texas 5. They get it on the left side, and it's a Fullwood, and he is knocked up around the 1. Brent Fullwood from left halfback stopped at the 1. That'll be a fourth down play for Auburn. That was James Lott, left cornerback, who closed in to help make the play.
All right, here comes Fullwood again. It looked like he was going to score, but watch Edwards, number 63, the big middle linebacker. They get hit there, and he comes in on the bottom of the play. Then number 94, Darnell, the right tackle on defense, finished everything off. Down by 9.
Agee's back in at fullback. Jackson's in there, so's Fullwood. Fourth down, give it to Bo Jackson over the top. Touchdown, I think, but penalty flag's down.
Motion
penalty
in the backfield.
Flag is down, and it could have been backfield in motion for Auburn. If it is, it'll cost them a touchdown, at least for the moment. And they go back to that fumble snap on second down.
Yeah, and one other thing. That was a touchdown on the play. But you got to understand something. Auburn's down 19-28. They're down by 9. They're still going to have to kick a field goal somewhere along the line.
This might be the spot.
They have to. Well, there's no question about they're going to kick it now. But even with 4th and 1 with Bo Jackson, you know he's going to gain a yard. That was a good call.
Still fourth down.
Illegal motion cost Auburn a touchdown here. Now they're going to try to go for 3 points. Mike Mann comes in the hold, and there's Robert McGinney, number 13, a freshman. Won the kicking chore here for Auburn this year. Doesn't have a real strong leg, but he's very accurate. And this will be a try of 23 yards. He's got it up there and through. He knows it's good. Oh, wait a minute. They say it goes wide right. McGinney thought he had hit it. Had both hands in the air, but at the last moment, the ball veered off to the right and failed. And what a costly series that was for Auburn. The missed snap on second down. The penalty on the touchdown run on third down. And now the field goal try.
To the right of your screen, you see the end of the goalpost. Now the ball has to clear the goalpost. Just look at this. It makes a difference how high it is. The official is standing. You see him right at the left of the goalpost underneath.
Well,
the official on the right looked at the one on the left because he's the one that's going to call it.
Well, that was so close. Watch McGinney.
Well, Mann, the holder, thought it was good.
Well, it's got to get through those. You got to extend on that imaginary line right straight up from the uprights. It's got to get through there between them, and it did not. And it's a costly series for Auburn. They beat themselves with mistakes and penalties. Here comes Texas. Johnson up the middle. Not much doing there. Auburn slams the door in his face. Gerald Williams, our left tackle, was in there to smack him down. Less than 9 minutes to go in the game. So now Auburn has to score twice. That means they need 2 more possessions. There's plenty of time for that, but they're going to have to make them count, even with the wind at their back. Ball is at the 22. Excuse me, Paul.
No, well, the thing about Texas at this point is they know now that they have to punt into the wind. But Telchik is kicking the ball so well. He drives it. The wind, it does slow it up a little bit, but he still gets the ball out 40 yards into the wind.
Here comes Todd Dodge, who's had a spectacular game passing for Texas. Dodge back, hands off his fullback, Jerome Johnson, to the right side. Texas playing it close to the vest now. Not chancing any kind of a turnover down here in their own territory with a 9-point lead, 28-19. The clock continues to roll. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the game.
3 things happened to Auburn on that drive for the touchdown. 1, they had to use a costly timeout. 2, the guard lot knocking the ball out of Washington's hand. And 3, on the touchdown, with the man in the backfield in motion, it cost them the touchdown. They came away with no points.
We'll see how crucial that becomes. Here comes Dodge. Dodge fires it down the right side. Got a man over there, but it's over his head, incomplete. Bill Boy Bryant. Penalty flag is on the ground again here at Memorial Stadium in Austin. Tommy Powell was covering that time. Bryant had no chance to get that one. Illegal procedure, Texas. Well, Auburn could take the play here and
take the play, get the ball.
Yep, cost them a down.
Keep coming, you got 2 blockers.
Looked like he wanted Dodge to run a little bit there.
Well, what happened is that Gerald Robinson, number 95, went in and dove over the blockers. Okay. He's telling Todd Dodge, he said, look, you got 2 blockers out there. Just keep coming to the sidelines. Don't pull up short because that man is forcing.
Well, Texas now facing a 4th down. They refuse the play. Texas punter comes on the field, John Telchik, and now he'll be punting into the wind. 7 minutes, 44 seconds to go. Auburn sets up with a double safety. Trey Gaines is back there. And here's the punt. Rob the kick. Gaines comes over. It takes a bounce toward the sidelines. There'll be no return. Texas will down it just over the 50. And Auburn will put it in play at the 48-yard line in their own territory, trailing in the ball game by 9 points. 7 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the ball game from Austin, Texas, with a score. Texas 28, Auburn 19. Well, they're having a hot time down in Baton Rouge tonight. LSU 33, Wichita nothing in the 4th quarter. Non-conference game for the Bengal Tigers. And here in Austin, Texas, Texas leads Auburn 28-19. Texas now goes to the defense. Auburn with the wishbone attack. Takes the fullback. Washington on the play action. Washington sacked. Hit from the blind side. Ball gets loose. Texas may have recovered it. Let's see. They do. Texas recovers the fumble. James McKinney was the man who hit Washington the blind side. And Texas comes up with its 2nd big turnover here in the 2nd half.
Texas is fired up. They know Auburn's going to pass the football with 7:25 to play. They knew they had them, and they just teed off that defensive line. Watch Washington now. He sets up about 4 or 5 yards. He's got good blocking right here, but all of a sudden he's going to get hit. Was that Bronner hit him from the back?
McKinney, I believe. Yep.
Number 87, McGinney, comes up with the ball. Excuse me, it wasn't him. It was number 62, James, the linebacker. June James.
He got the ball, and so now it's Texas 1st and 10 at the Auburn 45. 7 minutes, 25 seconds to go. Let's see if Texas tries to keep it on the ground here and grind out the clock. Running in the eye, they give it to the fullback, hitting straight ahead. Johnson gets a little room and spins over the 40, and then he's just about beheaded down there by Arthur Johnson, who spun him all the way around with a really banging hit. 6-yard pickup. Nevertheless, it'll be 2nd and 4. And the clock ticking on down here with 7 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the game. Texas up by 9. Longhorns are very tough at home. They've lost 9 times in 91 years in their opening game. Freddie Akers never lost a home opener.
Well, I think the one thing we set up at the beginning of the game, Jim, is the fact that Texas had to pass in order to win the football game. And that pass to Brent Duhan.
Pitch back to Orr. Here's Orr in the sweep. Orr fighting, got a first down. He's inside the 30. Now Texas going to its running game, and they're making it work. Kevin Green, a walk-on. You know, it's just been a brilliantly called game by Akers and Dodge.
Oh, exactly. Take a look at Orr's out front, and there's a missed tackle in the backfield by Johnson, number 40. And Orr keeps his feet, picks up the first down. Texas on a drive, and with their field goal kicker, Jeff Ward, they can put this thing away.
Texas, they got tough games coming up with Penn State, later Oklahoma, and then of course the Southwest Conference race. Looks like it's going to be a little wide open. Pitches back to Orr again on the sweep. Keeps the ball in bounds. Keeps the clock rolling. Stopped by McCurdy, short of the 25-yard line. Second down coming up, maybe about 6 or 7 to go. Orr becoming the workhorse now here for Texas. He was one of the all-time great high school stars in this state, which really prides itself on producing football players. There's the time story, the score. A happy Horn fans. And they lead it by 9. And Fred Akers, who's trying to chalk up victory number 77 to start his 11th year. They give it the first man through, the fullback Johnson. Got some room. 15. Johnson's got a first down inside the 15-yard line. Arthur Johnson makes the stop for Auburn, but Jerome Johnson was the man there. Remember the touchdown he scored in the fourth period here that sprang Texas into a big lead.
Texas had not been able to run the ball up the middle for most of the game, for 3.5 quarters. All of a sudden, they ran a couple of sweeps to the outside, which opened up the middle. That's Carr, number 54, missing the tackle, and Jerome Johnson picks up another first down inside the 15, almost to the 13-yard line. And when you start running things wide, and they get their tendencies on a defense to go wide with it, that middle opens up.
You know, Paul, this Texas team backfield was really in a shambles, and it shows you the great depth they have here. They lost Edwin Simmons, their great tailback. They had to move a quarterback to tailback. He got hurt. Then they moved the fullback over there. They started with 2 fullbacks. And yet here they are, poised perhaps to spring a big victory over Auburn. Still a lot of time to go, 5 minutes. But a 28-19 lead looks pretty good right now as they drive in for another possible score. And coming up after the game, the Chevrolet College Football Report. Right after the game with all the scores and highlights from around the country.
25-second clock, son. I'm trying to sit over here and call the thing to let it run down, and you're giving me this crap. Anytime you do that, you check that clock.
Brady Akers making a very pointed remark there. Point that you need to get that ball snapped within 25 seconds. Now look at him, the way he pats Dodge on the back. Yeah, you want to make Dodge too mad here. He's done a great game, Paul.
Well, Todd Dodge, what happened is the play that was called, he didn't think that the formation, I would imagine, didn't think that the formation was right for it. So you wonder why you would take a timeout in the fourth quarter with the clock running and only 5 minutes to go, and you're up by 9. But actually, Todd Dodge did the smart thing. Instead of running a play that maybe they don't have the formation for or don't have the right personnel in there for, he's going to check. They're in command of the game.
All right, Hayes to the left, Billboy Bryant to the right. They give it to the fullback up the middle, and Jerome Johnson. Now here they come around the other way, and there's Johnson still on his feet, scores.
Do you love it? Don't you love it?
He just refused to go down. Jerome Johnson couldn't find anything in the middle, and he just reversed his field. And that could be the one that spelled doom for Auburn.
There was absolutely no place for Jerome Johnson to go. Watch the middle. Holman's in the middle. Take a look at it. The middle is sealed off. He is hit at the line of scrimmage by Gerald Williams. And watch, he'll break it back to the outside. And just watch the determination. Moves the ball into the right hand. Get it outside where they can't get a shot at it. And then breaks it back in for the touchdown. That's just a great run.
He took on 7 Auburn players right there and still got it in the end zone. Texas may have put it out of reach with that. 34-19. Jeff Ward in to try for the point after. He's got it. That's 36 in a row for Ward and the point after department. And Texas has taken a commanding lead.
All right, take a look at it right here. Bang, he hits in the middle. There's no place to go. Now he's going to come back to the outside. Gerald Robinson can't get him. He gets a screen off block. Even though Todd Dodge didn't make a block, he screened off the defensive end, Robinson. And then Johnson on his own, literally on his own. Watch the reaction here at the bench. That's right. I called that play. I'll take credit for that one.
Well, Fred Akers has to be happy because he didn't name Jerome Johnson the starter until this morning. He had planned to use Terry Orr at fullback after Ronnie Robinson was moved from fullback to tailback. So Johnson's come from third string. To start this game, he scored 2 touchdowns, has a total of 58 yards. And boy, he'll remember this night for a long, long time. And remember, Johnson, a senior, has had to fight a lot of injuries here at Texas. It looks like he could have an outstanding 84. Another bounding kick downfield. And another fumble here by Auburn, and they're going to drop on it around the 23-yard line. Hollis Campbell just couldn't find a handle. Tim Jesse came over to help him. And by that time, Johnson was downfield for Texas, and he had to just drop on the ball and kill it at the 23.
You know, Jim, if you look at Texas and you watch the way they play football, this is a typical Texas game. They do the things that they have to do to win. Special teams, their kicking game, and their defense. And when the defense gives you the ball that many times, something has to break because they have the talent. And one other thing, Auburn, you can't make the mistakes that they made and win football games.
Auburn's got to take it to the air now. Here comes a pass thrown in the ground by Washington. He tried to hit Clayton Buford. Incomplete pass. James Lott covering. Auburn's had its problems in this ball game. They've given up the football a lot. Look at those miscues. Fumble resulting in a touchdown. They coughed the ball up again right here, and Texas has taken it in to score. They had some other miscues that may not show in that, but down there when they were about to score, the fumble and then the backfield in motion cost them a touchdown. May have taken them out of the game. We'll see. Here's Washington. He's dangerous. Off the flat, little screen to Agee. 30, first down. Agee 35, taken out of bounds. Stops the clock with 4:34 to go.
Two other things you throw in there, and those were the first 2 punts by Lewis Colbert. One was 25 yards, gave Texas the ball about the 40 or 45-yard line. They marched and scored. Second, the other thing was a 17-yard punt.
Well, down here, the action is great. How's it look up there, fellows? Up there, of course, is the Goodyear blimp with Captain Pilot Jim Dexter from Baltimore, Maryland, and the Goodyear Blimp America from Houston, Texas, giving us some outstanding shots here in the evening, the Texas evening. Left side, Washington hits his man Buford over there, tries to give a little stutter step, but Tony Griffin refused to be taken out of the play. They may give Auburn some of these little short passes, but they're not going to let them break anything long if they possibly can help it. Right now, the clock's on the side. Now, remember, Auburn could tie this game with 2 touchdowns and a couple of 2-point conversions.
They're going with the hurry-up offense, spreading everybody out. Texas got too many men on the field.
A look for Washington. There goes the penalty down. It's a free play here for Auburn. Thrown incomplete, intended for Kyle Collins. But I don't think Chris Delaban got off the field in time for Texas. They have 12 men out there, as Paul alertly noticed. Way to go, Paul.
Well, they're trying to go to their nickel defense, so they had to get some linebackers off and some defensive backs on the field. And I guess this is one that everybody talks about. There's Jerry Gray. He's talking to the officials, saying, well, what do we do wrong here? Well, with one thing you did wrong, you had 12 people on the field. But, you know, when you go to the prevent defense, and it's legitimate. They got a 16-point lead, but 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point plays tie the score. But if you can stop them all night long, why let them have it and move down the field with 4.5 minutes to go?
That's a good point. It's been an argument over the years among fans who follow football. Should you go to prevent defense when your good defense is working?
Substitution, infraction, defense, 1st and 5.
First down and 5 for Auburn now. The ball's at the Texas 41. Washington's got 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Washington throws underneath here, and he hits his man, Collins, short of the 35. May or may not be a first down. Delaban made the stop.
They're going to measure this thing. It's got to get right at the 36-yard line, but I think they're beyond it. I honestly think it's a first down.
Well, they're going to ask for the change to come across.
They'll get it by the nose of the ball. But what they should do now, as soon as those chains get by, get your play called and get up on the line of scrimmage.
We'll be picking the Chevrolet players of the game immediately following the game, 1 from each team. Had a lot of standouts here on both sides of the ball tonight for both teams. Certainly for Texas, you got to be thinking about their quarterback. Todd Dodge had a great night throwing.
There's a new wide receiver in the game. Donaldson, number 29, is a split end for Auburn.
He's just a freshman. Duke Donaldson. I know Pat Dye wanted to redshirt some of these young guys, but he has to get them in there. Now other scores. Ole Miss Arkansas still tied. They're in the fourth quarter. 14 all. Arizona leads Oregon 20-8 in the second quarter. And here we are, Texas holding on to a 35-19 lead over Auburn. Auburn hoping somehow to score 2 touchdowns here in the final 4 minutes and salvage a tie if they can. Down the middle, almost intercepted by Gray. Oh, there's the All-American. Craftily waiting in the wings, waiting for his chance. Almost picked that one off.
Well, Washington tried to hit the ball to Tim Jesse, number 25, going down the middle of the back, coming out of the backfield. But Jerry Gray, the All-American, he was just sitting in there waiting. Watch it. You'll see it open up. See Jesse going down. Look at number 2. Jerry Gray right there. The ball hit him right in the gut, but he was bumped by Jesse.
You know, Texas is one of the few college teams, Paul, that still plays a lot of man-to-man defense on passes. They use very little zone. Draw play. Down the middle, Campbell. And Collis Campbell trying to pick up a first down here, trying to fool Texas looking for the pass. Ty Allard, the linebacker, stopped him short of the first down marker. They'll put it at the 30, and it'll be 3rd down and 4.
Just trying to do something to slow that defensive line down because they're not even thinking about run. They're just coming. All 4 guys are just teeing off with the lineman and going.
4-man rush. Again, the ball is dropped, incomplete. Clayton Buford couldn't hold it. That ball was really drilled by Washington. Was thrown just a little bit low. Eric Jeffries was there anyway. And it brings up 4th down for Auburn. 3:35. You can pretty safely say this will be a last chance here for Auburn. If they have any hopes at all, they're trying to pick up 16 points in the last 3.5 minutes. They're going to have to pick up 4 yards here and keep this alive. You know, once Texas gets the ball, they're going to run out the clock as much as they can. Buford is to the right. Wagan is to the left. They run the draw play with Campbell, and he's got the first down. All the way to the 20-yard line. Eric Jeffries in the 4th period, of course. Moving the first down chain stops the clock with 3:29 to go, and you can bet Auburn will be ready to go when that ball's put back in play.
That time, Jim, they caught Texas in a blitz and ran a draw. It's an excellent call against that, except the clock keeps moving.
There's Washington going upstairs again. Right side, he's got Buford. Down around the 10-yard line, he's smacked down immediately by Tony Tillman. Tillman, a speedster, runs the 10-200. Ball's inside the 10, so it's going to be 1st and goal for Auburn. They got to score quickly and then get a successful onside kick. 3 wide receivers to the left. Washington throws it out the left side, completes it over to Jesse. Jesse's taken out of bounds short of the goal line. About the 2 by Jerry Gray, the All-American for Texas.
Well, Jesse didn't get out of bounds. His knee went down inbounds, so the clock's still moving. Now we're inside of 3 minutes. It's amazing when the clock stops after every first down in college football, how many plays you can run in a short period of time.
Well, the old 2-minute drill has become a factor. Now here's Auburn and the straight wishbone. They try to punch it over, and they give it to Collins, and Collins is stopped short, I believe, over there. Yep, didn't get it across. June James, weak side linebacker Jerry Gray. That keeps the clock rolling. Auburn's going to have to spend a timeout here with 2 minutes and 36 seconds to go.
Well, this is where Collins has got to learn one thing. Once you get near that goal line, just push the ball out over the goal line. Watch how close Collins gets. He gets the blocks on the outside and moves back inside. He's got the ball in the left hand. Now all he has to do is just stretch the ball out over the goal line. Yeah. Had he done that, but who's there?
I think he tried to do that, and Jerry Gray, the Texas All-American, got his helmet right on the ball and prevented it. Pretty smart play.
It was Jerry Gray. Again, we knew one thing. If you're going to run at Texas, with all their great defensive players, the one man, if you want to make the big play and score, you've got to put Jerry Gray, number 2, on the ground. Remember, he's the guy that caught Bo Jackson. He's the man that almost made the interception just a moment ago. The man that makes a stop on Jeffries, or on Jesse at the goal line.
Well, Paul, there's nobody here that doesn't realize what Auburn has to do. They have to score here and then try to get an onside kick and make the 2-point extra point. They give it over the left side, and there's the touchdown over the middle. Brent Fullwood goes. And Auburn has come back to score, so they keep some faint hopes alive here. 35-25.
Fullwood is airborne. Watch this. Plants his feet up over the top. He cleared everyone.
Right into glory land goes Fullwood for the touchdown for Auburn. You got to hand it to the Tigers. They're not going to give up. They're scratching and clawing. Pat Dye said, you'll see our best effort tonight. May not be enough to win, but it'll be our best. It won't be like it was against Miami. That was his comment. Going for the 2 points. They have to have this to have any chance to tie. 3 wide receivers to the right, and they give it up the middle, and the penalty flag goes down. I think Texas might have stopped him anyway.
Texas
it was
offside.
AG. Texas was offside to get another chance. DeGrate was in there on the play. That's the second time they've done that. Fake the pass to White. Send the fullback, AG, to the left. And Texas was offsides on the play. Auburn gets another chance on a half the distance penalty. This will be from the 1. Makes it a little easier. The time is 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Offsides, defense, half the distance, replay the down.
Everything's got to happen just right for Auburn. They got to make these 2 points. They get the football back and hope they can make 8 more. A tie is the only thing they can do. Here's a keep, and Washington scores. They got the 2 points here. They're within 8. It's 35-27 with 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Jerry Gray did it. So there's the score now. Texas 35, Auburn 27. 5-27. (35-27). Texas gave Auburn a second chance, and they made it pay. And now here comes the onside kick attempt. There's the ball. Got to go 10 yards, remember? Doesn't go 10 yards. And it's going to be Auburn recovered, and they didn't go 10.
You know why? Because if Texas doesn't touch the, if they don't touch the ball,
Texas player touched it.
Then Auburn can't fall on it. But once Texas touches the ball, it's a free ball. It becomes Auburn's ball. We have 48 kicking off, and we don't. I'm sorry, folks. We just don't have a 48 on our list.
Russell Hayes was in there, tried to recover it for, or Mike Hayes for Auburn. He got the ball, but obviously it touched a Texas player. The referee has signaled Auburn's ball. Auburn still got a chance here to pull out a tie. They'll have the ball at their own 44-yard. The ball went only 4 yards.
How about, is that a strange onside kick? Number 1, Caesar is the up man. It stands on the ball. Then he takes the ball off the tee, moves the tee, sets the ball down. They all bunch, just roll it along the ground. If they leave the ball alone, Auburn would have touched the ball and never been able to recover the fumble.
Texas should have stayed back at the 50-yard line, but that's all hindsight. Remember, these young guys are anxious. Auburn now is going to be going in the air with 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go. Boy, talk about a thrilling, exciting windup here to this one. Both these teams came in here to put everything on the line. Here's Akers now getting the explanation from referee Joe Thomas. I don't think we're going to be able to hear it. Well, that's what happened. Onside kick rolling upfield. A Texas player anxious to get to the ball. Touched it before it gone the 10 yards and couldn't hold it, and Auburn recovered. Auburn still got a chance to get a tie.
What Fred Akers is talking about is that maybe one of the Auburn players kicked the ball along the ground after the ball had been kicked.
You suppose?
Well, now if Auburn would have touched the ball first, then Texas got the ball and fumbled the ball where they feel it would have still been Texas ball.
That's right, because they've been illegally touched by Auburn before it traveled the necessary 10 yards. A free ball after it goes 10 yards, or if the receiving team touches the ball, it's a free ball. Otherwise, it isn't. So it's all up to Pat Washington now, number 10. They're coming down the end of the game. Auburn lost a heartbreaker to Miami by 2 points, 20-18. They're down by 8. Looked like they were completely out of this game. They trailed 35-19. They picked up 8 points on the touchdown. So let's remind you that this is just part of what we're going to have here in September. Coming up next week, more excitement. Boston College, led by All-American Doug Flutie, one of the nation's most exciting quarterbacks. He'll have Scott Gieselman in there as a wide receiver. Now, powerful offense for Boston College against North Carolina that showed a lot of offensive punch today. They have Ethan Horton, a great tailback who's a converted quarterback out of high school. gained almost 100 yards and scored a touchdown today against Navy. So that'll be quite a confrontation on ESPN 1 week from tonight from Boston. 1st and 10 for Auburn. They're 54 yards away from getting a tie with plenty of time. 2.5 minutes to go. Here's an option keep by Washington, and he's going to be cut down around the 50-yard line. That keeps the clock rolling. Ralph Darnell made the stop. There's the time remaining now, a little over 2 minutes. Texas looking for Auburn to go to the air. They got their All-American number 2, Tony Gray, back in a single safety. They got to beat him in the end. Here's the long pass. There goes Gray. He's got it picked off by Gray of Texas. That'll end it for the Longhorns. Interception on the 20-yard line, intended for Clayton Buford. Well, that's when your All-Americans come through when the chips are down.
There's a pure free safety here at Texas because they do play man-to-man, and they tell everybody we're going to line up and play you man-to-man. And even when they get in their prevent defense, watch Tony Gray, or excuse me, Jerry Gray, number 2. He's just playing the ball. He sees the throw. Pat Washington, really the inexperience shows that he did not read the safety man. If you're going to throw the ball against Texas in the prevent defense, you don't want to throw it in the middle of the field where that man is going to be.
All right, Texas now takes over 22. They'll try to run out the clock. They've got 2 minutes to kill here. So if there's Gray. Gray had a great clutch interception last year against Auburn. He comes up one here, killing Auburn's last slim hope. Been a long shot anyway for Auburn. They hand it off up the middle to Moorshell. Terry Orr hits into the middle. John Daly spills him up, and Texas isn't concerned about gaining much yardage. They want to run out the clock. Minute 49 to go. Orr getting up slowly. So it would seem this would dash the dreams here of the Auburn Tigers. Auburn calls timeout. It's the last time they could stop the clock.
Are you tired of overnighters that don't go over well? Or extra beds that take an extra set of hands just to set up? Then the Aero Extra Bed in a Minute is your dream come true. This amazing premium quality airbed automatically inflates itself, turning any room into a bedroom in just 1 minute. There's no hand pump, no foot pump, no pumping at all. Just plug it in, push the button, and the patented built-in pump instantly inflates the Aerobed in just 1 minute. It's so easy, it even unrolls itself. So BYOB, bring your own bed on vacation, on business trips, in your camper, on your boat, or even keep a spare in your car trunk. It's like sleeping on air, anytime, anywhere, even every night. The Aerobed gives you the same comfort and support of premium mattresses at only a fraction of the cost, with luxury features like the exclusive adjustable support sleep system and the one-touch comfort control that instantly adjusts the bed from soft to firm while you stay in bed. Plus, the Aerobed deflates in about 5 seconds for easy storage, using 80% less space than a rollaway bed. The Aero Extra Bed in a Minute is non-allergenic and easy to clean. And best of all, it uses all your standard size linens. Your Aerobed comes complete with the attached electric airflow pump, the one-touch comfort controls, and patented quick-release deflation valve, all for just 4 easy payments of only $33. But listen to this. If you call within the next 30 minutes, we'll take off an entire payment. Through this special television offer, you'll receive the Aerobed for just 3 easy payments of $33. Plus, as a special bonus, we'll give you this convenient carrying bag absolutely free. Get your credit card ready and call the toll-free number on your screen now, or send check or money order to the address shown. You can get the Aero Extra Bed in a Minute sleep system for just 3 easy payments of $33, plus shipping and handling, with a full 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you call right now, we'll even give you the carrying bag absolutely free. Call the toll-free number on your screen now.
The Winter X Games. Coverage begins February 2nd on ESPN.
This is ESPN Classic.
Jim, could you believe that not only Auburn 0-2, picked by many, including myself, as #1 team in the nation,
and Alabama
0-2.
They say it's never happened before. Now Fred Akers has sent the word in. All right, these coaches have worked the sidelines hard tonight. Remember,
74 power. They're going to run in the 4-hole, which is on the right-hand side between the tackles.
Orr's the tailback.
And there it is.
There's Orr. Just ducks in there, picks up a yard or so. Clock rolling on, the minute 40 seconds to go. Harold Hallman, Gerald Williams. Conceivable here that Auburn could get the football back with not much time left.
Well, I'll get it with about 50 seconds after the punt. Well, it depends on what if Auburn, do they have another timeout? I don't think they do. I think Auburn's used up their allotment. Now we're down a minute 15, and Texas got 7 seconds here to snap the ball. Down to 2 seconds. Now they get the snap away, hand it off to the short man, the fullback Johnson. And Johnson is dumped in the backfield for a loss by John Daly. The clock now has moved down to the 1 minute mark, and we're going to seconds now. 57 seconds to go. Texas will have to punt. Here's where you just sit on it, Jim, and just take the 5-yard penalty. It's not going to make any difference.
Now, Auburn will have 30 seconds when they get back the ball. And their only hope, it would seem here, Paul, would be to block this punt. 38 seconds to go. Texas is going to let it run down. They've got 5 seconds. They're going to stay right back in the huddle here and take this 5-yard penalty. And there it is, exactly 30 seconds to go in the game. Texas will take the penalty. And now Telchik will try to kick it out of there. And Auburn's hopes now would rest on a punt return touchdown or possibly blocking the punt. Otherwise, they're going to have to go a long way in a very short time.
Well, you go after it for the simple reason that he's kicking. Telchik is going to kick into the wind, number one, so he's not going to get a great kick out of it.
10-man rush.
Oh, yeah, they're all coming.
10 men are up there. Telchik knows they're coming at him. Now they're going to drop back for a return. Here's Telchik. Try the kick. They got a return set up here. Back over the 40, 35, 36-yard line. And Auburn will have a couple of shots at it here with 19 seconds to go as Gaines was stopped on the 36. We'll remind you again, ESPN will be bringing you the Chevrolet Players of the Game. This is a program, a Chevrolet Scholarship Program. $1,000 going to the Players College's General Scholarship Fund. Washington downfield, incomplete. He was trying to hit over there to Wagan. Wagan was too late in covering, or he threw it too soon, one or the other.
He threw the ball out of bounds because he didn't have the time. Washington, again, the defensive line of Texas, they're just teeing off. Tony DeGreat, this is the kind of football that he loves. Number 99, the All-American tackle. He just got to tee off and go.
Remember this, in the old days, you throw the Hail Mary to the goal line and hope for interference. And under the new rules this year, to get an interference down there, it's only a 15-yard penalty.
That's right.
36 yards to go for Auburn.
That took 4 seconds.
Yep. Got 19 seconds left.
That's 14 seconds, I think, the way that.
Yep, it is 14. They give it on a draw play. Here comes fullback Agee, and they keep him in bounds at the 29-yard line. Texas spelling victory now, James Lott, and that will be the final play of the game. And Texas is the winner in a high-scoring affair between two defensive teams. Texas comes out on top by 8 points, 35-27, in a game that featured the passing of Todd Dodge.
Yes, it did. Todd Dodge, I thought, had a sensational game, and I think this man right here, Fred Akron, called a sensational ball game for his team. They did what they had to do offensively, and that's throw the football.
Well, they overcame the injuries and they won. The final, Texas 35, Auburn 27.